News for the nearly $2 trillion COVID financial aid bill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
It's hard for us to understand how the Republicans can vote against this bill because it has such an impact on their constituents.
Including $1,400 payments to most Americans. GOP Congressman Steve Scalise has the answer.
It's yet one more example of Speaker Pelosi pushing a socialist agenda that's focused on taking away the rights of hardworking families while also bankrupting the next generation with mountains of debt.
Several changes to the bill were made in the Senate after Republicans lobbied moderate Democrats to pare back some of the items, including the federal unemployment, which was whittled down from $400 to $300. When the House initially passed the bill, 2 Democrats voted against it, protesting the huge price tag. But progressives are expected to make the most noise this time, frustrated by changes forced by the minority party, fueling calls to abolish the filibuster, which requires bipartisan support for most legislation, including gun control and immigration reform.
Speaking, that's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Speaking of immigration, the White House says there are more children coming to the U.S. alone than they have room for in facilities.
We know that at least 3,000 children are in custody right now of Customs and Border Patrol. These are unaccompanied children. The number of children tripled in just a couple of weeks, and smugglers, unfortunately, are tagging migrants with wristbands.
Fox's David Spunt. Republicans call a migrant surge a crisis. Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
We're waiting for you. If you dare step into the state of Texas, Texas will use every tool and strategy we can to arrest anybody who's violating the law.
Now, Governor Abbott's order lifting a mask mandate in Texas takes effect today. Jury selection continues today in Minneapolis to put a fired police officer on trial for murder in George Floyd's death. 3 jurors have been picked so far. Others admitted they were afraid or could not be impartial. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Wednesday morning. If you're heading towards Jaguar Boulevard and Lehigh Acres, you'll see a slowdown just near Eisenhower making that commute towards Columbus. Milwaukee still up to speed if you want the alternate. Also slowdowns on Sunshine east towards 12th, about a half mile of slow traffic flowing at about 22 miles per hour. Slowdowns as well beginning on Gunnery Road heading south of 23rd towards that Daniels extension. I-75 commuters, you are still great if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. The trip to the minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach and pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Water, water everywhere. You can't swim in it. You can't stand drinking it. Heck, it's so bad it's on the news every day. Hi, I'm Rob Hill from Bob Hill Plumbing. We've invested over 66 years here in Naples, bringing you clean, drinkable water for your home or condo. We realize we can't fix the water problems everywhere, but we can definitely clean up the water inside your home. Our government does their best to deliver safe water for use. But wow, who wants chlorinated yellow water at every faucet? Let us install a Halo home filtration system and remove all the bad taste, color, and odor from your water. Halo removes 99% of all chlorine, ammonia, and all the bad-tasting chemicals in our municipal water system. Call Bob Hill Plumbing today and let us install a Halo water system in your home so you can once again enjoy clean, bottle-quality water at every faucet. Bob Hill Plumbing. Let me be your plumbing guy.
To schedule service, call Bob Hill Plumbing at 262-6119 or bobhillplumbing.com.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. we can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it. Guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Turn my mic on. Yesterday I was late to the show, and there was a reason, because I was doing something else and I was half paying attention. Today I'm going, hello, hello, hello. And Jake is, because it's Jake's birthday, everybody. Today is Jake the Millennial's birthday, and he has checked out. We haven't even started the show, and already the man has checked out. Look at him. Look at him. If you're watching at drewsteele.com, Steele with 3 E's, you can see. Look at him. He is completely checked out. Done. Gone. Goodbye. That's it. He's out. There he goes. He just left the program. Completely checked out. I'm on my own. I've got control of nothing. I can't even turn a mic off or on, or I don't need. Well, let's see. I just want to make sure. Is Joe here?
Not a joke.
He's here. All right. We're good. Everything's fine. Joe Biden's here. All right. Good morning, Southwest Florida. 239-479-5592. Thank you for waking up with this program each and every day. We do appreciate you. We appreciate it. There are some things we appreciate and some things we don't. Jake's birthday, we appreciate that. So if you want to send some well-wish and birthday cards or gifts, care of this station, Jake the Millennial, and we will be sure to forward it right to him. Cash is not accepted. Please, only cards. There's a lot. Look, Jake is not, here's the thing. Jake is not a cash guy. He's a Bitcoin guy. If you would send him, please send him either Dogecoin or Bitcoin for his birthday. He would appreciate that much more. Isn't that true? Right? Isn't that true? Wouldn't you appreciate that a whole lot more?
Yeah, because that's maybe tangible.
You never know. What, Doge, or are you talking about? By the way, there's a great story about Bitcoin that I'm going to involve you with, because it has to do with Bitcoin's climate crisis. The climate crisis that Bitcoin is causing. It is fascinating. Yes, carbon footprint. Think about this. Are you ready? Should we get it? I know I want to mention this morning. And look, if you're somebody who's confused about Bitcoin, you don't know about Bitcoin, you're interested to find out about Bitcoin, there is something that is really real. Call Jake, and you will love this. It's all over right now. The New York Times wrote an article about it, and some other places, because of Bitcoin's ginormous use of computers. I mean, you need computers in warehouses to mine these things. And we'll get into more detail if you're confused. But just imagine, in order to get the Bitcoin, you have to do what's called mining. And in order to mine them, you have to have computers. I'm talking supercomputers. I'm talking about something even faster than what Jake has in his bedroom when he's playing World of Warcraft shoot 'em up style version 3. That doesn't have any graphic pornography. Well, some of it does. Basically, everything that's on the that video games, they all have some kind of nasty sexual reference, don't they?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, right. But these farms are so huge that people are saying, there's a huge amount of energy being burned to try to do the mining, and now we've got carbon footprint issues, and what are we going to do? Because do you realize how much energy it takes to mine? How about that story? Did you think about that, Jake? Do you care about the environment just as much as, well, I don't know if you care how much you care. I mean, not that conservatives don't care. You know, the thing that's frustrating to me always is that when somebody says, oh, you know, you're a conservative, you could care less about the environment. Yeah, that's exactly right. When I change my oil in my driveway, I pour it right down onto my lawn. I make sure that it gets right into the water supply. Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? You don't care.
It's literally in the name.
What is?
Conservative.
Yeah, we're conserving the planet. We want to make sure it's still here. We want it to still be here for our kids and our grandkids. But your suggestion is because somehow conservatives are evil, that somehow because we don't go along with your crazy plans, that we all hate the environment, which is such a joke. I know it's I'm burning. I burn plastics in my backyard for fun on weekends. My son and I, we burn all the plastic bottles in the house. It's great. It causes this black plume of smoke, but he loves it. He runs through it and he kind of wisps it all around him and he wipes it on. It's great. I get all the kids in the neighborhood to do it. And then when all that plastic burns, I just toss it on everybody's lawn and, tell me where the water supply. Who cares? We don't care. As a matter of fact, I take all the, whatever the plastic lumpage is there, I have my son and all his friends take it in a wheelbarrow and they take it over to the nearest lake and they dump it right next to the alligators. It's almost like alligator food. Who cares, right?
Yeah, we also recycle the straws that we use.
We recycle them into one big bucket and then we toss them into the ocean. That's what we do.
In the lake, right.
Yeah, we don't, who cares? Forget it. Who cares about the fish? I don't even like fish. I don't even eat fish. So go whatever. It's so dumb. Anyway, all right. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I thought that was interesting this morning. I'm also looking at a couple of other things that happened even on the top of the hour news there with Fox News. Because, I don't know what's going on with these top of the hour reports. They are very interesting, especially when we get to the stimulus package and, we're talking about what's going on with the $1.9 trillion stimulus, 9% of which is actually going to some kind of COVID relief. But we're told that it's a American Rescue Plan. We're told that it's the COVID relief, which could be, it couldn't be any further from the truth about how much relief you're getting out of this. And then you have places like the top of the hour and Fox News and others, even locally, whether it's the local stations or in the state, they're all talking about COVID relief package. We need the COVID relief package. Who would be against a COVID relief bill? Who would be against it? Are you on COVID relief, right? We all need it. I mean, it's a pandemic right now. We need relief. No, it's not. And then you have like the Fox News at the top of the hour playing Nancy Pelosi. And what does Nancy Pelosi say? This is beautiful. Here we go. She says,
it's hard for us to understand how the Republicans can vote against this bill because it has such an impact on their constituents.
Yeah, it's so, it doesn't make any sense, right, Nance? I mean, why is it that you Republicans all hate this bill? I mean, it's helping their constituents. Don't you understand that? Yeah, that's slick. It has nothing to do with that. We all realize that it's all the garbage that's in it. It's all the spending that's in it that doesn't have to be there. The bailing out of really poorly run states like New York and California, states that don't need a bailout. That it wasn't, for most states, it wasn't a devastating crush against them in state legislatures because of the pandemic. Most states are okay. They're not in desperate need. And the kind of billions of dollars that's going towards states that truly have destroyed their economies pre-pandemic, that they get all this money. The fact that there's money that doesn't get to be spent until after 2022 because you can bring it up during an election season that there's more money coming. And guess who did that? It was the Democrats, the evil Republicans. They hate you because we know you need the money. You do realize that, and I think Jake could probably agree with this, and maybe you do too, 239-479-5592. You do realize that we're getting to a point in this country, a dangerous place in this country, where we're going to be addicted to stimulus. We're going to expect it. You see what I'm saying?
I've already been all over this.
So I shouldn't even talk about this right now?
No, you should.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Right?
I mean, I'm just like, right when COVID hit, people started losing jobs.
Yeah.
Unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple people, multiple friends of mine, love them dearly.
Yeah.
Started relying on that money. Second check that never came, right?
Yeah.
Constantly asking, when's the next check going to come?
When's the next check going to come?
When's the next check going to come?
And you're talking about people that have no, that are not.
No source of income.
But they're not being, right, they're not being affected by it. They're not being affected. In other words, they already got their check.
They already expected it.
Right. They've already got it built in that they're getting it.
Right. They already spent it.
Even
in
worse.
their heads.
Yeah. Right. Even worse, that's the situation. And again, I'm asking this question honestly. Do you really think this is the kind of thing where for years and years and years, the complaint has been that once you open the gates, you can't get the, the bull, the horse. Once the horse gets out of the gate, you can't get the horse back. Is that right? Or is it a dog? Or is it or maybe it's a cat. Because once a cat never comes back. You let the cat out, it never comes back, right? What? I don't.
Sometimes.
If you let the dog out of the barn, then the cat's not coming back. That's the point. Do you understand that?
Perfect sense.
Okay. No, it makes no sense. What I'm trying to say is very simple. For years and years and years, we've been talking about that once the American people get a taste of something that comes from the federal government and you're fed from the teat of the federal government, you don't want to walk away from it. And it's hard to get it out of there because it's expected. And then if it comes from the left, you're going to be demagogued to death about how awful and evil you are to even suggest that you want to do something that has to do with fiscal responsibility, that you would dare take this away from people. You can't do it. So once it's there, how do you get rid of it? How are we going to now, in the future, tell people that there's no more stimulus? It's just not coming. And I know you're thinking, well, that's ridiculous because all we have to do is get back to work. We're going to get back to normal. And once we get back to normal, everything's going to be fine. Yeah. I'm not sure about that. I'm worried. I'm really worried that quite the opposite's going to happen. And we've got a populace here. And look, dare I say everybody, that I think that there is a populace right now who kind of, if I'm going to be honest, that they're okay with it. Because they're getting their money, I want my money. And that this is a way to continue to feed individuals something that is like candy, is like sugar rush, is that they don't want to give up. And that the next quote unquote rescue plan or the next issue when it comes to something that has to do with a pandemic or something that has to do with an economy that's crashing, whatever the case may be, that we've got to save the day, that the government's the only way to do it and to save the day, and they're going to come along. And when they come along, you better believe it, that people want a stimmy. And I worry about that. Maybe I'm off base. 239-479-5592. Yeah, Roger in St. Mary's, Georgia said the horse is out of the barn. So I'm saying it all wrong. I'm completely messing it all up. But you know what I'm saying. Nancy Pelosi, give me a break.
Our members are well aware of that, and also the value, the intellectual excellence of what is in the legislation.
The intellectual excellence of what's in the legislation. Are you listening? Okay, I have to play that clip all in its entirety. Are you sitting down? Well, I know Jake's sitting down because I'm looking at him. You're sitting down. You ready? I want you to follow along with me. Follow along, everybody. Nancy Pelosi commenting on the COVID relief bill that's not really a COVID relief bill. Again, like we said yesterday, you can't have 9% of a Slim Jim that's made with beef and the rest of it is made with we don't even know what and how to identify it. A beef stick, and not Slim Jim. So let's just say a beef stick, and then you call it 100% beef, but only 9%. No, you can't do that. But yeah, it's a COVID relief bill. No, it's not. It's not. And here you go, Nancy Pelosi. Listen to this again.
It's hard for us to understand how the Republicans can vote against this bill because it has such an impact on their constituents. Our members are well aware of that, and also the value, the intellectual excellence of what is in the legislation.
The intellectual excellence of what's in the bill. The intellectual excellence? Like what? And nobody gets to ask that question. Like, what are you talking about, Nance? What does that mean? What internet? I don't have a call screen, by the way. What kind of unbelievable excellence is there? Intellectual excellence. Well, she's right. I tell you, the excellence is unbelievable. Big dummies. It's just so silly. But again, I look at these. The situation. I'm looking at all over the internet, and it's a COVID relief bill. COVID relief bill. It's Fox News at the top of the hour. COVID relief bill. It's not. It's not. Just because you call it that, that's not what it is. Sorry. I don't go along with anybody's narrative. I don't care who it is. We can be honest. We can talk about what it is. American Rescue Plan. Is that like the $4 trillion in the past couple of years that we've had, or the past year that we've had up to $4 trillion? Like that rescue plan? Was that we need more rescuing now? Really? Even with the $1 trillion that hasn't been spent yet, we need more. No, yeah, that's what they're saying. We need more. 239-479-5592. So, all right, I mentioned Roger on the text line who was saying the horse is out of the barn. He's in St. Mary's, Georgia, and he's calling right now. So I'll give him a minute of time because I know that in Georgia, there are a lot of people who love to make phone calls. It's a known fact that Georgia is a state where more phone calls go out than any other state in the union.
Well,
that's not true.
Morning, Drew.
I just made that up.
All right, Drew. We call to seek your wisdom, sir. You replaced Confucius up here. So, but anyway, I have a question. It's not really a debatable question. It's a true question. You stuck on the horse is out of the barn, so to speak, where we have so many people out of work and getting that stimulus check, and they rely on that stimulus check, and that becomes a habit, a way of life, I guess, if you will. How would that affect the government if you have all these people not working, collecting stimulus checks when there's no taxes being paid? Where do you see the country? How would that affect our country? And that's pretty much my question to you.
Yeah, because if nobody is creating, then how are we collecting tax money? How are we doing anything when it comes to businesses creating? And if we're not because the government doesn't create anything. And so if we're not creating, then how are we building up a tax base in order to get that money to pay for the stimulus? Well, the first thing is, believe it, taxes are going up. There's just no way around it. If you look at the numbers and you see where we are, and you do some cost averaging, and you see where we are tax-wise in comparison to where we've been in the past, and you look at the numbers right now, there's wiggle room on the top end for certain individuals who believe that, the tax bases can be expanded at the top end because it's a little low right now. And so that's number one. Number two is the money's printed. We're just printing the money. It doesn't exist. There's nothing tangible that exists behind it except the printing of the money. It just keeps going and going. And that's why we're starting to see inflation hit. We're starting to feel it. It's going to be, you think it's bad now. You think you're starting to feel things now. Just wait. There's no place to go. And so, again, when you have government employees, public sector employees, who are going to get 15 weeks of $1,400 stimulus checks if they tell you that because of the pandemic or because of COVID and COVID-related issues in their home that they have to take days off, they're going to get paid. They're going to continue to get paid. The public sector workers, because the public sector worker is better than the private sector. I hope you know that, George. They are much better than you. They're better people. They're better workers. They're just much better. They deserve more than you deserve in the private sector. So they'll get more because the unions negotiated it. It's not their fault. I'm joking. But the fact is that the union was able to put this in with the stimulus bill. And so all that money going out. And again, you bring up a great point. How do you do it? You're not going to be able to spend your way. I mean, can you spend your way out of it? No.
But no, I couldn't. I mean, there is a trickle-down effect to this. So say, you've got millions and millions of people out of work. How are they going to go out and, say, buy a car or buy all these houses and stuff like that? Well, that eventually starts affecting, let's say in construction, if you can't buy a house because, you're living on stimulus, you can't pay the AC guys. You can't pay the trades that are parked. And then sooner or later, that slows down. Now these trades and these cars, they have no jobs. And it just becomes like a monster. I mean, is that right a now accurate assumption?
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, you look at the housing. There's a house. I mean, Is it a housing bubble? I mean, yeah, I think the housing bubble and the interesting thing about housing right now, and even if you look at there was some, what was it? CBS Miami had a story about how hot the Miami market is. And if anybody has gone out to try to buy a home recently, good luck, because the minute you see something that you like, it's gone. I mean, it is that fast. And, you have people that are paying over the assessed value of homes just because they're going so fast that if you don't, you're not going to get it. And then on top of that, think of the cost to build a home and what's going on with that right now. The cost of the products and how all of that's going up. Sooner or later, that's going to catch up.
That may be on point now, and we are going there, but eventually it would catch up to where that housing market, nobody can afford down the road. I'm not saying next week or next year, but
it's there now. No, we're there now.
Going down that road.
Roger, we're there now. I can tell you from personal experience, and I've got to run right now, but listen, thanks for the call there in Georgia. I always appreciate it. 239-479-5592. Listen, we're there already. I know people. I know we got to go, Jake. Sorry. We're already there. I know people right now that I talked to yesterday that said they're going to have to look at a house that is twice the amount of money that they can afford, because at this point right now, it's the only place to go. They don't know where else to go. Like they're just we're going to have to spend everything on our mortgage that's coming in, and just pray that everything stays equal as far as their job and their income to be able to afford it. But it's getting rough for certain people to be able to get into this marketplace. No doubt. All right, 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. 92.5foxnews.com.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Demand is so great for COVID vaccines that Walgreens' online vaccine booking system crashed yesterday, preventing people from making appointments for several hours. The New York Post reports 3 large casino companies are interested in opening a casino in the New York City area. Wynn Resorts, Bally's, and Las Vegas Sands may submit proposals for the 3 new state licenses to be issued this year. Streaming services keep gaining viewers. Disney Plus announced it topped 100 million subscribers during its first 16 months of operation. On Wall Street, the Dow rose 30 points, but the big focus was on beaten down tech shares, which surged yesterday. That pushed the Nasdaq up 464 points, or 3.7%, its biggest gain this year. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Some big news. Since Election Day, almost 5 million people have downloaded the free Newsmax TV app on their smartphone. You can trust Newsmax TV. Watch it for free anytime. And go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Call your operator if they don't carry it. Plus, watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Xumo, TiVo Plus, Pluto, and smart TVs like Samsung and LG. Newsmax is real news for real people. Start watching today.
Is your car a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it? Would you rather be driving a brand new Nissan equipped with all the latest technology and safety features? Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. If your trade-in is a 2012 or newer, yes, a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, we'll give you the original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Bring us that old Chevy, Honda, Toyota, Ford. We don't care where you bought it from. We don't care if you bought it new or used. Go to NaplesNissan.com. Pick out your favorite new Nissan model with Bluetooth, backup camera, and that new car smell. You can have it all today after we pay you what you paid for your trade-in. Don't wait. Get full details at NaplesNissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Most people are coming in because they have a problem, and they have all kinds of hopes and aspirations and things they want to do. And they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. I'm ready to dive in there and help them find a solution to their problem.
You're listening to Beth
an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So this woman walks in. She's literally got tears coming out of her eyes. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to be walking and walking and walking. I've wanted to go there my entire life. I can't walk, and I don't know what to do, so help me. And I helped her.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
She called me and told me what a wonderful time she had on her trip, was virtually pain-free, that I had literally saved her life. I'm gonna cry. You just can't replace that.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
Are you looking for the perfect spot for your retirement? Just add water. Shell Point Retirement Community is located in Fort Myers on the Caloosahatchee River, just minutes from the Gulf of Mexico and Sanibel Island. Enjoy a vibrant waterfront lifestyle with miles of walking and bike trails. For boaters, there's a private marina with free boat docks to keep your boat right at home. Or join your friends on the community boat for cruises to local restaurants and beaches. Shell Point is comprised of 7 neighborhoods with scenic water views. Life slows down on the water as residents enjoy kayaking through hundreds of acres of secluded bird-filled waterways. To learn more about waterfront living at Shell Point, schedule a private appointment or attend one of our weekly group seminars, which include a tour of the community. Call 239-466-1131 or go online to shellpoint.org. Enjoy waterfront living today. It's all here at Shell Point.
Heard the good news about COVID-19 vaccines? They're here. But you can do more than wait for your turn. See, you have the power to help slow the spread. Actually, you could be a real difference maker and protect your family and loved ones, too. Here's how. Watch your distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. And it's risky to be indoors with them, too, no matter how far apart you are. And, of course, avoid crowds. Also, wear a mask. CDC reports that masks protect both the person wearing them and the folks around them from particles that carry the virus. And wash your hands, using soap and water for 20 seconds, and do it frequently. Watch your distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands. Simple, effective, and along with vaccines, they're how you can make a big difference.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is congested in Collier County on Immokalee Road heading north of Wild Turkey towards Friendship Lane. There's also congestion building on Immokalee Road if you're heading east towards Livingston. Slowdowns on Livingston south of Golden Gate Parkway. The East Trail still looks great for right now. If you're making that commute between Rattlesnake to Davis, should take you about 6 to 7 minutes. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach and pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. I want to tell you that I'm a rocket scientist. But just because I said it, it doesn't make it true. Your air conditioning tech isn't an air quality expert either. I know what it takes to become one because I've had more than 30 credentials in this industry and over 35 years of training to get to be an air quality expert. It's not easy. If you want to buy whatever junk your air conditioning guy is selling you, I'm sure he'll love that fat commission. But if you want the truth from a real air quality expert with real credentials, call me, Fred Kobe, at 239-482-1542. You'll get the truth and nothing but the truth. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Your new home is calling you to live the good life, starting now. River Hall is where it all starts. A true paradise. River Hall is one of the Gulf Coast's most exclusive master-planned communities, where country club living meets the casual, barefoot Florida lifestyle. River Hall's Davis Love III Championship Golf Course is one of the top-rated courses in the Gulf Coast area, and you'll love River Hall's private oasis pools, bike paths, fitness center, tennis and bocce courts, and more. Live large with homes priced from just the 500s to the 800s. From Pulte, the Pulte collection of breezy open floor plans offers something for every lifestyle, with upscale finishes and features designed for elegant, gracious living. Here's to finally finding the perfect place. Here's to home. River Hall is just 20 minutes east of Fort Myers in the River Shores District. Come see model homes now. Visit liveriverhall.com. That's liveriverhall.com.
Getting a little extra is always a good thing. Getting up to an extra $8,000 for your old car, that's incredible. For 3 days only, hurry to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral for the incredible trade-in event. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday only, get an extra $8,000 overbook value for your vehicle when you put it towards a new Nissan. Your $2,000 vehicle is now $10,000. Your $10,000 vehicle is now worth $18,000. You get an extra $8,000. Sutherland is taking all trade-ins, no matter the year, make, or model. So if you thought your car was only worth a few $100, not anymore. It's worth up to $8,000 at Sutherland Nissan. Incredible? You bet it is. And it's why this is the incredible trade-in event. But hurry, this event is now through Monday only. If you ever wanted to get a lot of extra money for your old car, this is it. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Shop online at nissansales.com or CapeCoralNissan.com. If it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much. See dealer for details.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this program. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe, not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Do you know what that is? Not that anybody cares. Hopefully this is going to go away very soon, Jake. This will be gone. Piers Morgan. You know who Piers Morgan is, right? He's on some show now, Good Morning Britain, after, I guess, being a failure here in the United States. Or is he still he took over, right? A long time ago, he took over for Larry King. Houston, hello. And then he took over for him, and then it was kind of a hot mess. And then he went to Britain, Good Morning Britain, and I guess he said he's leaving the show. So he doesn't want to be there anymore. He got criticized for criticizing the Prince and the Meghan, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in that interview with Oprah, which, by the way, if you're trying to figure out who won that interview, like if you were like handicapping and saying, all right, who's going to win this? If you have an interview with Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and Oprah, who's going to come out looking best? Who's the winner? Could you guess? Go ahead, you're mouthing it. You want to actually say it? It's an audio program. We do DrewSteele.com, the website, so you probably could have watched to see Jake, mouthing the words. But otherwise, it's radio, and it's audio only, so people in their cars and home don't get the chance. Okay, yes, Oprah. Oprah was the big winner. There's no doubt about it. So Oprah, the big winner of the interview. But there it was, getting out of control, where the one guy was, going after him, and they don't like you anymore. Oh, and here's the other part. This is the best part of it. Listen to this, and then we'll move on. Here's the best part of. So Piers Morgan, he leaves the set. He storms off the set. He's had enough of all these people going after him for criticizing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and then this guy, the other host or whatever, says,
"Sorry, can't do this."
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour. I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have to sit there and listen. 6:30 to 7 o'clock yesterday.
No, you don't. That's the best part, right? You don't have to tune in if you don't want. You don't have to listen to it. Just don't watch him. If you don't like Piers Morgan, don't watch. It's like anything else in life, right? If you don't want to watch CNN, well, I completely understand. You shouldn't be watching it any hour of the day, but that's the whole idea. All right, 239-479-5592. Some other news that is out there. Let's get to some of the harder-hitting news here. Jen Psaki will not admit that there's a crisis along the border. Doesn't care, doesn't want to hear it. There are other people that can tell you what's going on, but people are concerned about the numbers that we're hearing about, but not Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki doesn't care. She'll circle back.
I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well. Circle back. Circle back.
She'll get back to you. All right, so here's yesterday White House press briefing, and we have a reporter that's I'm going to push on you a little bit, but I don't want to get too carried away with the pushback here. But here we go, a little pushback on the Biden administration and what they know and don't know about what's happening along the border. It feels like a crisis. We're hearing some pretty bad numbers.
The number of unaccompanied migrants detained at the border has tripled in the last 2 weeks to 3,200 plus. Is that number accurate?
Yeah, the numbers tripled along the border, and we're hearing all kinds of stories. And is that accurate? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm not going to confirm numbers from here. Obviously, the Department of Homeland Security and others oversee the programs and the engagements that happen at the border. I will say that there are a couple of reasons. I know.
Okay, we don't really want to hear your reasons because they're going to give any. So she goes on to give reasons about why it's all happening, but it's not their fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's not the situation that we talked about with D. Ray yesterday, Dave Ray from Federation for American Immigration Reform, which is that there are people that are coming to our southern border that are being told, that are hearing that the Biden administration is doing catch and release again, baby. That's right. We're not going to have them all along the border. They're coming across now, and we're making sure that we're clearing out all of these cages and tents and anything else that's going. Can you say cages? I'm not really sure because that's only saved for the former administration. Donald Trump put kids in cages. You know how that works until you realize that it was actually somebody else that did it. Yeah, that guy, but we're not allowed to say that. But anyway, the point is that there really is a crisis along the border, and so Jen Psaki comes up with some explanation of how it's everybody else's fault.
In the United States. So there are also a range of factors that are leading individuals to come to the border.
All right, so she gives this big explanation, and the reporter is like, well, hold on a second. I'm still not really done, and I didn't get an answer to the question.
Why won't you confirm that number? That's a very important number.
Yeah, that's a big number. I mean, why don't you confirm this? Is this happening? Is this not happening? I mean, help us out here.
We've been very clear that there is an increase, that there are more children coming across the border than we have facilities for at this point in time. Those numbers are tracked by the Department of Homeland Security, so I'm just suggesting that you talk to them about specifics. Well, we talk to them, Jen, they won't confirm the numbers. Well, I would encourage you to go back to them and ask them again.
I will go back to them again. Come on, just go talk to them. Well, they're not giving us the numbers. We'll keep going back. Well, they're not giving us. Go back. They're just not giving the numbers because they don't want people to know what's going on. They don't want to know how bad things are becoming along our southern border. It's not pretty, everybody. It's not. The Biden administration shattered a record for unaccompanied migrant children being moved to shelters in February. This is from Breitbart. The Department of Health and Human Services placement of more than 7,000 unaccompanied minors. These are children. These are somebody's kids. 7,000 unaccompanied minors in shelters in February eclipsed the previous high of 5,000 in February 2019, according to a report from CBS. Why are they doing this was explained yesterday. And remember, they come into the country. They can't sit there. They're not going to sit alone. They're going to be brought into the country. They have to go someplace. They have to go to someone who will take care of them. Ultimately, there's a chain migration issue that comes in because the parents are going to come in as well. You're going to have family members that are going to follow them into the country. They're going to be released into the country. When it was, DHS Majorca, who last week was talking about, listen, we're not ready for you to come in yet. Don't come to the border right now. Because they're doing a couple of things. They're trying to take care and dot some I's and cross some T's. Those I's and T's are getting catch and release back in place again. That's what they're doing. The number of children being apprehended without a parent at the border continues to grow. Due to overcrowding in health and human services shelters for children, the unaccompanied minors are being held in Border Patrol facilities designed from single children, often for more than the 72 hours allowed by law. And so even the New York Post had an article yesterday where it's like, listen, we can't hold them that long anymore. They got to go. The numbers are there, and they're real. And these are people. These are human beings. These are kids. And a crisis that is created along the border because of the policies of this administration, that's what it is. So let's not try to dance around it or make it something else. If Jen Psaki wants to circle back.
I'll circle back.
No, thanks. If you want to do that, knock yourself out. But the facts are the facts. It's the policies of the administration and people believing that Joe Biden's coming to save the day. And if we go there, we're not going to have any more issues like we had before because we were trying to make some semblance of an immigration policy that would work. And, of course, would not release individuals into the country that were COVID positive. But what are you worried about there? There's nothing to see here. We are in an absolute pandemic right now where people have to double and triple mask like the president did yesterday. Oh, boy, there's a story behind that. We have to do all of these things, and yet, you let people into the country that are positive, COVID positive. All good. Nothing to see here. Everything is fine. Move along. No, there's a lot to see here. 239-479-5592. What other stories am I looking at? Boy, there's a lot this morning that I wanted to get. Should I get to that Bitcoin story? Do you want to do that? Because I find the Bitcoin story really, really fascinating. Yeah, I think I'll talk about that. How many of you, raise your hand unless you're driving 10 and 2 or 9 and 3, you hear about Bitcoin, you have no idea what Bitcoin is, but you're really kind of just dismissing it. You're not really thinking about it or worried about it. You should be thinking about it a lot. And if you want to ask Jake, you can ask Jake. Here's why. Jake, am I correct about this? And as we talk about this, I don't know what are you doing over there? You getting ready to spray the place down with Lysol? Is that what you were doing?
No, it's chocolate milk.
You have chocolate milk that's in a Lysol can?
No, it's just a regular chocolate milk.
Oh, okay. It was just weird. I've never seen one like that. So for those that don't understand Bitcoin, like why do people care about Bitcoin right now? Why is it a big deal? Why are you so excited about Bitcoin?
Because the price is going up.
That's it. It's just the price is going up. That's all you need to know. So if you're trying to understand how Bitcoin works, you're mining Bitcoin, there are individuals that have set up what are these mining facilities. And a mining facility is just these supercomputers. The faster the computer, the better. And the multiple computers that you can have in a supercomputer set up to mine the data to collect these quote-unquote Bitcoins, the bigger, the better. That's why there are countries that have set up. I believe China has these farms that they're creating as well to mine Bitcoin. There are people who have their own farm systems that are creating these mining opportunities for Bitcoin. And when you're talking about the difference of, and I'm not joking, yesterday, I think I'm right about this, could look it up. I think there was a $10,000 rise yesterday alone in Bitcoin. It went from 50 to 55. Was it? No, sorry, a $5,000 jump. It went from 50 to 55,000 a Bitcoin yesterday. It's shooting through the roof. And you're starting to get more and more people institutionally that are looking at Bitcoin and saying, we want in. It's volatile, but man, is it volatile on the upside. And remember something about investing that's important as well. And my buddy Alfie Townsend talks about this all the time. People love volatility. You think, oh, I don't want to be in a volatile situation. Yeah, you do, because volatility going up is a good thing for you. Volatility isn't bad if it's going down, but if it's going up. So when you see something like Bitcoin, where it's jumping $5,000 in one day, less than in hours, you want to get on board. That's what people are thinking. And so institutionally, you're talking about ETFs, or you're talking about banks, you're talking about places that will accept it as currency. They're starting to look and saying, hey, we want a little piece of the action. And so they're starting to join in. And you got people like Elon Musk who are like, hey, listen, to the moon. And then he gets excited. And he would know a thing or two about the moon and Mars and space. And so people get excited. But these farms are huge, and they take up an enormous amount of energy. Bitcoin's climate problem. As companies and investors increasingly say they're focused on climate and sustainability, the cryptocurrency's huge carbon footprint could become a red flag. And they're showing a Bitcoin mining operation in Florence, Italy. They're showing a picture of it. And there's a guy who's in the middle of a mining farm, and it's racks and racks and racks and racks of computers all around him. He's in this little box, and he's surrounded by computers that are running 24/7, and the amount of energy that it's using more electricity per transaction than any other method known to mankind. So it's not a great climate thing. That was Bill Gates. And you know how people listen to Bill Gates. But everybody's getting in on it. But it is causing such a huge carbon footprint and the energy being used. So now you have this, well, what do we do? Because if I'm somebody like Elon Musk, or if somebody like Bill Gates who wants to save the planet, and I'm into this whole thing, cryptocurrency, it sure sounds good to me. It sounds like a really good option to kind of make some money, but I'm destroying the planet by doing it. Boy, are you in a really bad place. And it's not going to go away either. It can't. There's no way to solve the problem, because the only way to mine them is to use the kind of energy that it's using. It's sort of like the opposite of what people have talked about when it comes to green energy. Has anybody ever taken a moment in time to think, how in the world are you going to dispose of all of these batteries? How in the world are you going to get all of the components, the minerals that are needed to create batteries, and you're digging into the earth to find these rare earth minerals to create batteries, and where you're going to dig and where you're going to find it and who's going to be in control. I mean, there's all of these things where it's so fascinating that on one side, you see this cryptocurrency, you see something that uses an enormous amount of energy that is not green friendly. And there's no way to stop it, and there's no way to figure out what to do on the other side to be able to mine, because it takes so much. And how it relates to even green energy and cars and batteries and electric. It's great on paper. It looks really good. But what are you going to do? You're going to have like wind farms that are across the whole state of Texas, or across all of Florida in certain areas, or you're going to have all of these electric cars that it seems like Americans are like, they're cool. They're not all on board. And all the things that you have to do to get and produce, and then how are you going to tax it? Man, I know we got to go, but you ever think about that? If fossil fuels disappeared, do you know how much taxes there are on fossil fuels, like gasoline? How many cents per gallon we're being taxed? How are you going to do that with green energy? What are you going to tax? You're going to tax electricity? You're going to tax the creation of the products, and then they would be unaffordable? What are you going to do? It's not as easy as it seems. Just a thought. All right, we got to go to a break. Coming up, Hans von Spakovsky is going to join us from the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Hey, if you want to know about H.R. 1, you've been worried about it, or you heard that you should be worried about it, man, are you going to get the details coming up? Do not go anywhere. Coming up, we're going to dig into H.R. 1 and why it is really, really bad. Coming up, it's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, drewsteele.com, the website if you want to watch right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh.
Owners and others warned that it would cost jobs and hurt the economy. Now, a study conducted by economists at the University of Washington confirms what everybody knew except the left. Instead of helping workers, the minimum wage increase hurt them. The study found a dramatic effect on business owners who stopped hiring, they reduced hours for existing workers, and they let other workers go. The study estimates that the average low-wage worker in Seattle lost $125 a month due to the minimum wage increase. The losses it caused far outweighed any benefits. And I told you Monday on my show what's happening in McDonald's. Their stock was tanking. They turned it around when they began installing thousands of robot kiosks to bring down labor costs. The kiosks don't demand $15 an hour. Liberals believe that business owners have piles of cash sitting around unused that can support the costly policies the left demands. But it doesn't work like that. Keeping labor costs under control is crucial to the survival of any business, and knowing what they are. When liberals arrogantly raise those costs arbitrarily, it always hurts the employees. They are the ones that suffer. But even with this fresh evidence, liberals will never admit that they were wrong. They'll find ways to inflict even more pain on the economy and kill more jobs. That's just what they do when they're trying to help people.
Mahindra is the official tractor of tough. And if you ask Mahindra owners, they'll tell you we're also the official tractor of working through a long, hard winter, and the official tractor of getting your land ready for spring. And right now, Mahindra is the official tractor of spring savings. Save thousands or get 0% interest on tough new Mahindra tractors during the Mahindra Spring Sales event. Your Mahindra dealer has spring savings on subcompact tractors all the way up to utility tractors. Stop by, or you'll officially be missing great deals on Mahindra. Learn more at whymahindra.com. On select models for a limited time only, go to whymahindra.com for more information.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Shenango Supply Company of Punta Gorda, or call 941-637-1165. That's 941-637-1165.
Your home is more important now than ever before. So when your air conditioner needs maintenance, repair, or replacing, Conditioned Air wants to be your first and only call. The Florida weather can be challenging. When you have a cooling issue, our team is here to resolve it quickly and efficiently. You can be assured of honesty, respect, and our desire to exceed your expectations every single time, and we've been doing that since 1962. Conditioned Air, 1-888-COLD-AIR, or online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Hey, it's Adam Botana again from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the only family-owned and operated boat club in Southwest Florida. And when it comes to members to boat ratio, bottom line, we have the best fleet and availability at any boat club in the area. Fishing, cruising, water sports, Baywater will get you set up. Want to keep the boat overnight? Want to let the kids use the membership? At Baywater, anything is possible. This weekend, we are having our 15th anniversary open house. We'd love for you to come by, have some lunch, and check out the club. And if you join this weekend, special pricing. No dues for 3 months. Right, no dues for 3 months. Stop by and see the Baywater difference. Call me, Adam Botana, at 239-495-0455. That's 495-0455. One more time, that's 495-0455. Or find us online at bwboatclub.com. Or Google Baywater Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida.
There is nothing that changes as much as tax law. After all, there have been tax changes, stimulus dollars, changes on the changes, but they're all meant to put more money in your pocket. Don't make a mistake that could cost you thousands. Let EG Tax be your tax interpreter and guide. Come join the EG Tax family at their Naples office across from Tamiami Ford. Call 239-262-2009. That's 262-2009. Or click egtax.com.
How many client portfolios is your investment advisor responsible for? Is yours one of hundreds? Or perhaps your financial institution has just been acquired by yet another firm, and the team you've known for years is suddenly gone. At the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company and its division, the Naples Trust Company, our portfolio management team is local and care for a proper ratio of account relationships designed to give you the highest possible attention and an asset allocation that is best for you and your goals. Another key factor is that all of our employees are owners in the trust company through an employee stock ownership plan. So we have no interest in being acquired. And more importantly, we have a vested interest in seeing our clients as happy as we are. Are you ready for a better experience? Contact us at the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company or the Naples Trust Company. Visit sancaptrustco.com to discover the difference.
Not FDIC insured. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
.925 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
The hit-and-run crash in Lehigh Acres at Sunrise and Bell is slowing traffic northbound towards Centinela. Also, we're getting very busy on that Daniels extension. Also, keep in mind some deputies near the JetBlue Park, so make sure to really watch that speed and keep everyone safe as you're heading westbound to Treeline. As far as I-75 goes, we still look great if you're heading to and from Charlotte and Collier County. No complaints. In Cape Coral, starting to get busy over that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach and pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Are you looking for the perfect spot for your retirement? Just add water. Shell Point Retirement Community is located in Fort Myers on the Caloosahatchee River, just minutes from the Gulf of Mexico and Sanibel Island. Enjoy a vibrant waterfront lifestyle with miles of walking and bike trails. For boaters, there's a private marina with free boat docks to keep your boat right at home. Or join your friends on the community boat for cruises to local restaurants and beaches. Shell Point is comprised of 7 neighborhoods with scenic water views. Life slows down on the water as residents enjoy kayaking through hundreds of acres of secluded bird-filled waterways. To learn more about waterfront living at Shell Point, schedule a private appointment or attend one of our weekly group seminars, which include a tour of the community. Call 239-466-1131 or go online to shellpoint.org. Enjoy waterfront living today. It's all here at Shell Point.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America. NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay it time. Always on time or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet. So good to see you. Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
Why wait for so-called one-time refund relief from big insurance companies when you can get the best prices and coverages all day, every day, all year round from Chapman Insurance Group? Hi, this is Brian Chapman, and my team is committed to finding you the most efficient coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live each and every day. Anytime you want to watch, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's in case you're wondering. And we appreciate you watching. I always appreciate having a few minutes to speak with Hans von Spakovsky, the great Hans von Spakovsky. I've said that, Heritage Foundation, senior legal fellow there. The last time we had an opportunity to see each other, which was nice at CPAC, and it was always it's always a pleasure to have him on the program. How are you this morning, sir?
Drew, I'm doing just great, thanks.
So, I really wanted to at the time. We didn't get a chance to do it. We kind of skimmed over a bunch of different issues, but one that I really wanted to dig into is H.R. 1. And I love this article of the Daily Signal because I'm looking at the first paragraph here. The headline says CNN's biased fact first, quote unquote. Facts first can't get its facts straight about H.R. 1 or Pence, Mike Pence. And here's the first paragraph. It says, the so-called mainstream media, including CNN, is apoplectic over former Vice President Mike Pence's recent commentary in the Daily Signal in which he says that, quote, election integrity is a national imperative, unquote. I cannot believe that statement, Hans. I cannot believe that the former vice president would suggest that election integrity is something that would be a national imperative. But really, when you're looking at H.R. 1, it almost feels like there are some that don't believe so because of how awful it is.
Well, it's not only that they don't believe it, but they want to make it, frankly, they want it easier to cheat. I mean, that's the only conclusion you can come to after you look through that bill. And to give you an example of that, and also to show you how dumb the CNN analysts are, is they said it was a lie when Pence said that H.R. 1 in essence bans state voter ID laws.
Right.
Well, the law says that states have to allow someone to vote by simply signing a form in which they say, oh, yeah, Tom Swift? Yeah, I'm Tom Swift.
Right.
That eviscerates state voter ID laws. You can't enforce an ID if the federal government is telling you got to let anybody who's coming in vote as long as they just sign a form saying that they're whatever name they're asserting they are. Drew, that means that you could walk into any polling place in Florida, one after another, make up a different name each time and vote, and there's nothing election officials could do to stop you, particularly because in addition to saying can't really enforce voter ID laws, every state has to put in same-day voter registration. In other words, they have to allow people to walk into a polling place on Election Day, register, and immediately vote.
It's unbelievable. It is actually... the only good thing about that, Hans, is that I could walk up and say I'm you. I could say I'm Hans von Spakovsky, and they could say, really? You look so different than I remember seeing you on TV or on Drew's program. Yeah. But anyway, seriously, and the fascinating thing to me is that, first of all, when it comes to voter ID, and how long have we been talking about this? For as long as I've known you, we've been talking about this. And how the left puts it out there as to why they have a problem with you even suggesting that voter ID, that you have identification, and the way that they will describe it to make you look so awful for even suggesting it. It's in and of itself, it's ridiculous that we would go to a Walgreens or wherever, and just to get some allergy medication, I've got to show an ID. How ridiculous it is on its face, right?
No, it is, particularly because, look, every single state that's put in an ID requirement has also put in a provision saying, look, if you don't have an ID, which Americans overwhelmingly do, if you don't have an ID, the state government will provide one to you for free.
Right.
So there is no way that any of these claims being made against it that, it's going to keep people from voting could possibly be true. So why in the world are they so opposed to it? I'm telling you, it's because they want to make it easy for people to cheat. Look, you can see that in the fact that on absentee ballots, for example, H.R. 1 also would tell states if you have a witness signature requirement on absentee ballots, you can't enforce that anymore. You cannot require a witness signature on an absentee ballot. Not only that, but if you're a state that says no vote trafficking, in other words, you're a state that says third-party strangers, like political operatives or party activists, can't pick up and deliver the absentee ballots of voters, you're now going to have to allow that. So they want folks who have a stake in the outcome of the election to be able to go to people's homes, pick up their absentee ballots, which then gives them the ability to perhaps alter or change them, or to coerce and pressure voters in their homes. The feds want that to be legal.
Right. Well, certainly there's something in there about voter rolls, right? I mean, we're going to clean up the voter rolls, right? Or not.
Not.
Of course not.
In fact, there's all these provisions in there that would make it much tougher for states to clean up their voter rolls. The most obvious one is, look, back when the motor voter law was passed, the National Voter Registration Act.
Right.
And remember, that's the law that lets people register to vote at driver's license, when they get a driver's license, things like that, which, of course, is a good idea. That law specifically told states, hey, it's okay for you all to use the U.S. Postal Service's National Change of Address system to find people who've moved out of your state. And remember, that's the system. If you move, you can send the Postal Service a notice about your new address, and they'll forward your mail to you. This H.R. 1 restricts the ability of states to use the U.S. Postal Service's change of address system. Again, why would they do that?
Right.
Other than they don't want election officials to be able to find people who are registered in more than one state. And think back to last year. What was one of the claims we heard being made in places like Nevada? We heard claims that were never actually investigated by the Trump campaign that folks who had moved to California but were still registered in Nevada had voted in that state.
Right. And this is just some of what is there in H.R. 1. Hans von Spakovsky is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News from the Heritage Foundation, senior legal fellow. Heritage.org is the website, talking about specifically the article that he has there at the Daily Signal, talking about how the former Vice President Mike Pence was talking about the specific issues of H.R. 1 and CNN and their facts-first biases. Yeah, they can't even get the facts straight about what he was saying and articulating each and every issue that's there and the concerns. One of them that I'm looking at as well, and we've talked about this here in the state of Florida. And of course, this is up to states individually to decide to do this, letting former felons vote before they've completed their sentences. Now, here in the state of Florida, this is something that we've done, but it's a state issue. This is something that we decided that we wanted to do after everything was completed, all of the sentence, meaning everything, restitution and all, which was so interesting, Hans, because we talked about this at the time when this came up in Tallahassee, that the argument early on was the lawyers were saying, "Oh yeah, it's everything. It's restitution. It's the costs associated. Everything has to be taken care of before they would have this." And then right after the bill passes, they're arguing and saying, "No, that's not what we said." Right. Even though it was on tape, that's exactly what they said to the Florida Supreme Court. They tried to make the case that no, you can't do that to them, and even that would be something that would be taken away from states to have the ability to do. And how it would be manipulated in other places. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, look, Florida, the people of Florida decided, as you said, that, we're going to restore the rights of felons, but only after they have not only completed their jail time, but parole, probation, paying restitution, et cetera.
Right.
That would now be out the window because H.R. 1 says every state has to restore the right of a felon to vote the moment they step out of prison. And the problem, of course, with that is, as you said, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution specifically gives states the right to make that decision, not the federal government. And yet here the Democrats are trying to override a constitutional amendment with a congressional bill. I mean, not only does that show their, frankly, contempt for the Constitution, but to the fact that they are so intent on getting serious criminals who've committed felonies. I mean, they want them back in the voting booth. You'll notice that what's not in that bill is, remember, you don't just lose your right to vote when you're convicted of a felony. What else do you lose? Why, you lose your Second Amendment constitutional right. You cannot own a gun. But there's nothing in this bill to restore your ability to own a gun. So you see Democrats trust felons in the voting booth, but they don't trust them out in the community.
Yeah.
And what does that tell you? It tells you they're not really interested in helping these folks get back into a normal life. All they're interested in is getting their vote.
Yeah. So you bring that up, and the argument there of the 14th Amendment and states and their ability to do this and overriding the Constitution or trying to do that. So is that the remedy then? Then ultimately, is this something that could go to SCOTUS and be in front of that? I mean, is there any way, how would we do this? Because ultimately, if it's legislation, if they put this forward, then the Supreme Court's going to look and say, well, this is what you've done. Unless, of course, you can be specific about it, and then in which case is the remedy to take that portion out, and you end up keeping how would you go about this now? What would be a remedy to some of these real constitutional issues that are here?
What would happen if this ended up at the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court would cut out of the bill any of its specific provisions that it says are unconstitutional. This particular provision about felons, I think, would be found unconstitutional, unenforceable. Unfortunately, there are other parts of the bill that, while they're really bad, reckless policy, they still might be within the power of Congress to do. So this really needs to be stopped in the U.S. Senate, which is where it is now, because it passed the House last week with only a party line vote, with only one Democrat voting against it. So it has to be stopped in the Senate. Also, by the way, the Democratic sponsors of this, they knew it would be challenged in the courts, and they've tried to make it as difficult as possible. I'm not sure you're going to believe this, but they put a provision into the law that says that any lawsuit filed by anybody against this bill, if it becomes law, can only be filed in one federal court across the entire United States, and that's the federal court in the District of Columbia.
Of course.
And that's because, I don't know if you remember this, but when Harry Reid was still running the Senate during the Obama administration, they added 3 seats to the Court of Appeals that's in the District of Columbia, even though it's the appeals court with the least number of cases across the country. In other words, the judges there are the most underworked federal appeals court judges in here. Why would they add 3 seats? Well, it was to pack the court, to get 3 liberal judges in there so that they would be able to control any decisions coming out of the federal district court. So they're trying to make it as difficult as possible for states to challenge this bill if it becomes law.
Yeah, and by the way, for everybody who's listening, as we're digging into H.R. 1 and the real issues that are a part of this bill, we've only scratched the surface of some of the things in this bill. I mean, we didn't even talk about the drop boxes. You know, we don't have enough, Hans. We need more. We have to mandate them, right? Isn't that in there as well? More drop boxes.
Yeah, and think about this. If you're a voter, think about the person running for Congress on the other side of the political aisle that you hated the most, that you would never vote for. If this becomes law, your tax monies will now go to fund candidates you would never vote for because it sets up a public funding program to match contributions for people running for Congress.
Wow. It's unbelievable. Well, look, at least through all of this, as we finish out this segment, at least they're not talking about helping 16 and 17-year-olds vote, because that would be, that's in there too. How did they pull that off? Well, what is that? To register? I mean, they're not going to, nothing to see here. Everything is fine. We'll have the 16 and 17-year-olds vote. And is that part of it too, Hans? Is that they register so that it makes it easier on the fraud side? What's the reasoning behind that?
This requires all states to register 16 and 17-year-olds. But if you think about the fact that registration lists, people who've worked in polls know registration lists, while they may have your name and your address, they don't usually have your age.
Right.
And if you can't ask for an ID when somebody comes in, how are election officials going to know that the person appearing before them is actually a 16 or 17-year-old who they were forced to allow to register but isn't supposed to be voting yet?
It is outrageous. It's unbelievable. And unfortunately, it's the situation we're in right now in the politics in D.C. and some of what we've all been concerned about with some of the things that may pass through this House and ultimately what the Senate's going to do. I mean, is there any indication? I mean, have you heard from anyone? I mean, on the Senate side, I mean, there have to be people that are seeing the same things we are and being honest.
Well, I say the Republicans are solidly against this so far, it seems. The Democrats all seem to be for it. The one person everybody's trying to get to is Senator Manchin of West Virginia. But look, Manchin, in the past, he's always talked a big game of being a moderate, but when it comes down to votes, he always votes with the Democrats. So that means this is going to depend on maintaining the filibuster rule so that the Republicans can filibuster the legislation. But, they're already talking, Schumer and others, about ending the filibuster rule for quote-unquote, civil rights legislation. That means they want to end the filibuster rule specifically for this bill so they can ram it through.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll continue to keep an eye on it. And I would encourage you to check out this article there at the Daily Signal so you can read more about what he has written about with regards to CNN's biased fact first, can't get its facts straight about H.R. 1 or Pence, and goes into detail about some of what we discussed right now with the great Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. We always appreciate a few minutes of your time, and we'll do this again. Thanks so much.
Sure thing, Drew. Anytime.
All right, we'll see you soon. 239-479-5592. We got to keep an eye on all of this. And again, how, of course, elections have consequences. 2022 is just around the corner. I mean, there is certainly opportunity there, but for the time being, to keep a focus. And so when people are trying to tell you that, this is voting rights legislation and this is just going to help, this is the kind of thing that people have been asking for, this is the kind of protections. No, it's not. It is not. All right, let's go to break. It's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. You can watch it, drewsteele.com. We appreciate you being there on the website. The great Jenna Ellis is going to join us at 8:05. Some of the Supreme Court decisions that have been handed down and some that are coming up. We're going to dig into some SCOTUS news at 8:05. Coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months at $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her voice was shaking. She needed help. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her previously, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. I was humbled and proud. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Her call came in on a weekend night. We went to work right away that night. Life can be shattered in a moment, in a car crash, work injury, or medical malpractice. When that happens, you need a big law firm with an unmatched reputation and resources to fight for you. If your family ever experiences something like this family did, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you 24/7. We are big because we won a lot. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
It's Rockstar Harley's Black and Orange Tag Sale this week. Hundreds of pre-owned Harleys tagged with discount pricing. We're selling every pre-owned Harley to make room for more new Harleys. Rockstar Harley's pre-owned Black and Orange Tag Sale ends this Sunday.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with a legislative update from the state capitol in Tallahassee, where we've wasted no time getting to work to honor our commitment to protect Floridians from bad actors looking to capitalize on this pandemic. This week, we passed 2 bills off the House floor. House Bill 7 raises the standard and makes it harder to bring a COVID lawsuit against businesses, schools, nonprofits, and churches. Responsible business owners who make good faith efforts to protect their customers should never be subject to the extortionary tactics of lawyers looking to cash in. We also passed House Bill 9, which creates criminal penalties to protect Floridians from scammers related to PPE and vaccines. Times are tough enough right now without having to worry about being scammed. This is State Representative Spencer Roach. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and stay engaged, because this is your government and we work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, Post Office Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida 33918.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, tires, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
There is nothing that changes as much as tax law. After all, there have been tax changes, stimulus dollars, changes on the changes, but they're all meant to put more money in your pocket. Don't make a mistake that could cost you thousands. Let EG Tax be your tax interpreter and guide. Come join the EG Tax family at their Naples office across from Tamiami Ford. Call 239-262-2009. That's 262-2009. Or click egtax.com. That's egtax.com.
Trust 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet Store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet Store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet Store.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is congested on the interstate. A disabled vehicle just near mile marker 119 as you're making that southbound commute towards Bonita Beach Road. Tack on some extra minutes. Also, we are at a creep and crawl on 29 heading south towards 82 if you're making that commute into Immokalee out of LaBelle. Also, Immokalee Road, very busy heading east of Logan Boulevard towards 951 if you're heading out towards Gulf Coast High. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach and pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. It's been a few years since I had my LASIK procedure done with Dr. France and his team, but still, every day is absolutely amazing after having worn glasses and contacts every day of my life for so long. Well, since I had my LASIK procedure done, the France Eye Care team offers now a whole host of options that are even better and easier for you to get LASIK. One possibility you can look at is called the SMILE procedure. Basically, it has a smaller incision, no flap, and a really low incidence of dry eye syndrome, something actually I never even had. Here's another one, Visian ICL. What this is actually an implantable lens, both reversible and replaceable. So in other words, it can be removed if your vision needs change. Go contact Dr. France and his team today. They changed my life. Let them change yours. Dial ** 2020 from your mobile phone. Financing is available and affordable.
France Eye Care.
Hey, it's Adam Botana again from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the only family-owned and operated boat club in Southwest Florida. And when it comes to members to boat ratio, bottom line, we have the best fleet and availability at any boat club in the area. Fishing, cruising, water sports, Baywater will get you set up. Want to keep the boat overnight? Want to let the kids use the membership? At Baywater, anything is possible. This weekend, we are having our 15th anniversary open house. We'd love for you to come by, have some lunch, and check out the club. And if you join this weekend, special pricing, no dues for 3 months. Right, no dues for 3 months. Stop by and see the Baywater difference. Call me, Adam Botana, at 239-495-0455. That's 495-0455. One more time, that's 495-0455, or find us online at bwboatclub.com or Google Baywater Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida.
Hey, it's Drew Steele visiting with my good friend TJ, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. And, you know, TJ, we talk about Core Tech. A lot of people talk about Core Tech, but tell people and explain why so many people love their Core Tech floors.
Core Tech is built to be waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof. It looks just like wood, comes anywhere from 6 inches wide to 9 inches wide, all the way up to 86 inches long. Comes in a wide variety of colors, with a bevel, without a bevel, warm tones, cool tones, any color to make your house look beautiful.
So you want to see it for yourself? Go to the Floor Meisters. You're going to really love it. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Give them a call. 239-596-4964. 239-596-4964. Or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, with over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space. Designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel, or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It is Drew Steele along with Jake the Millennial. By the way, it's Jake's birthday. Please, please, please fill up the text line right now at 239-479-5592 with happy birthday texts for Jake, because he told me these are the only presents that he will receive on this birthday. There will be nothing. No gifts from family members. No songs being sung. No girlfriends in his life that will be bringing him cakes or anything at all. That the only thing that Jake has to look forward to on this birthday, 2021, is your texts. That's it. There's nothing else to look forward to today. So would you mind take a moment? 239-479-5592. Or if you're on the stream, drewsteele.com, the website, and the stream, if you were watching in the comments and reaction section, would you just send a heartfelt happy birthday to Jake the Millennial? Because it's going to be... yeah, I wish I was kidding. I'm dead serious. He's got nobody and nothing except us. So, no, it's not. I'm not dead serious. Well, I kind of, sort of. 239-479-5592. Before I start talking about some of the news items that are out there, including how there's this little battle royale going on between networks, the fake news legacy media outlets, about what the facts are behind Joe Biden kicking out a dog onto the streets. You know, his dog, kicking a dog out of the White House. I don't know if you heard this story. There seems to be a little battle behind the scenes as to actually what happened. Depends on who you ask. I did notice this story locally, and I'd like to get your calls to see what you think about this. A group of parents showed up to the Collier County Public School Board meeting yesterday, hoping to let board members know, this was from Wink, that they want masks to be made optional during school, during the pandemic, is the way that Wink put it. But, I mean, are we really in a pandemic right now? Are we really in a crisis mode at this moment? People outside, people opposed to masks in schools also rally outside the school district. Nothing's changing anytime soon when it comes to masks in the classrooms. Collier County Public Schools District says masks are still a critical safety measure for preventing the spread of the coronavirus. What's the evidence? I'm just putting that in there myself, just asking for the evidence. We're looking for the evidence that masks work and mask mandates work. And I gave you the stats yesterday from the CDC itself that said only 1.3% difference between places that mandate masks and people and places that do not. It's minuscule. And that's according to the data that they have right now on masking and cases. And we don't even know necessarily when it comes to the definition of those cases as to whether or not they are actual COVID cases, because there's even questions about whether they're flu-like symptoms that have been caused, that have been classified as which. That's from the CDC's numbers that I talked about yesterday with Bob Rommel when he was on the program. So I'm asking you to call, because I'd like to get your thoughts on this. If you would like to comment, 239-479-5592 right now. Because if you have a kid in school, how do they feel? What are they saying about masking up? Are you concerned about, like some have said, it's wrong, it's child abuse to put masks on our children every single day and then send them to school? They're kids. They're not meant to be wearing masks 8 hours a day. People are concerned about the long-term effects of their kids wearing masks in schools. And again, the evidence that would suggest that schools happen to be one of the safest places for kids to be. If you're worried about the spread of COVID, it's not a super spreader situation, and how it's safer even in the schools and in their own homes. There's been evidence of that. So just asking your thoughts about it. And I just wanted to hear from you. 239-479-5592. All right, so couple of we need some morning cup of Joe. That's what we need. We need a little bit of Joe Biden news. Who's up for some morning Joe? As we get to your calls coming up in just a second. Here you go. Here's a little bit. Where's that audio? Oh, here it is. Apparently, we've got Joe Biden at an event, and again, his handlers are whisking him away. Did you hear this? It's your morning cup of Joe.
Sit back with your morning cup of Joe.
Not a joke. From here, but they want to give a wave. I see him. Yeah. And then we also have don't jump. We need you. And then if I could just.
Let's go, you guys. Come on, press. We're gonna move out. Let's go, press.
No, that's not a press conference of the past 4 years of the Donald Trump presidency, with the press always going after. No, that's not what that was. That was actually the handlers for Joe Biden. They're pushing the press away, not letting him not letting anybody ask questions, and getting him out of this hardware store in D.C. as quick as possible, because no questions. You can't ask Joe Biden any questions. No, you can't do that. We don't want to scare him. Please don't get near him. Don't frighten him. Preventing the press from asking the president any questions after being there. 49 days now since the president has been in office and yet to hold a formal press conference. A little weird, a little strange. People are asking. Even Jake Tapper said the longest in the past has been 33 days, and we're at day 42 now. What's going on, people? That was last week. And And then there's another story brewing here quickly before we get to the phones. Did you hear about Joe Biden kicking out his dog? Did you hear about this? So it depends on who you ask. I thought it was fascinating because if you go to a couple of different news outlets, the fake news legacy news outlets, and you have to figure out whether or not there are ones that want to tell the truth about what happened with the dog or some that are trying to cover for the dog because it's Joe Biden's dog. I mean, it's really strange. Joe Biden's German Shepherd has an aggressive incident and is sent back to Delaware, according to CNN. Now, if you ask NPR, President Biden's dog Spooked causes quote-unquote minor injury incident. If you ask NBC News, Biden's German Shepherd Major Little Nip, a Secret Service agent, causing extremely minor injury. No skin was broken, said an official who described the injury as extremely minor. The White House medical unit handled it. Why did the White House medical unit have to handle an incident that was just a nip that didn't even break the skin? According to Jen Psaki. Major and the first family's older German Shepherd Champ were sent to the Bidens' Wilmington, Delaware home and are being watched by family friends. So the 3-year-old German Shepherd named Major bites one of the Secret Service agents. We can't even tell whether or not it was a nip, it was a bite, it broke skin, it didn't break skin. We don't know what's going on, but the dog got kicked out. The dog got kicked out, Jake. People are asking the big question, and you know what it is. Who kicked the dog out? Who kicked the dog out? Who kicked the dog out? Joe. Who kicked the dog out? Joe. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. You realize I did all of that just for that. Yeah. Who kicked the dog out? Joe. Who kicked the dog out? Joe. You only get that on this program. I'm just telling you. 239-479-5592. All right, moving on. That's enough of that. All right, Collier County Schools, parents, they're asking about masking up, opposed to masks in school for their kids. You want to comment? Good, I want to hear from you. Here's Kim in Cape Coral. Hi, Kim.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your thoughts?
Come again?
Yeah, you're in. You're on the air. It's Drew. You're on the air right now. You're live. You're here.
You?
Hi.
I'm just calling to give my opinion about the mask mandates. I'm in Lee County, and
Yes.
I'm 100% against the mask mandates in schools, especially elementary.
Have you been talking to friends? Do they feel the same way? How have your kids been handling it?
My kids hate it. They handle it because, they're rule followers, and they do what their teachers tell them to do. But I have told them from day one, if you need a mask break, if you need to breathe, pull it down. Don't be afraid to do that. Breathing is more important. But they can't stand it. They're begging now to go back to home learning, even though they've been in face-to-face since day one.
Yeah. Hey, and thank you. Can I just say something right off the bat? Thank you for calling it home learning instead of calling it homeschooling. Because I'm a homeschool parent, and I can tell you, home learning and homeschooling are two completely different things. It's taking your kids out of the environment that they're used to being in and putting them into a different one that happens to be your home, and that's where they're learning, as opposed to homeschooling. Because we're constantly told that, you see, homeschooling is a failure. You see what happened with the kids that were taken out. No, it's completely different. But all right, Kim, well, listen, I appreciate.
I agree 100%.
Well, thank you, and I agree with you as well. All right, Billy's in Naples wanted to weigh in on the kids. Collier County parents oppose masks in school at the school district. What do you think there, Billy?
Okay, before we get into that, thanks, kudos, and props for the whole dog thing. I loved it. It was great. Somebody needed to do it. The dogs get penalized more than the illegal immigrants do.
By the way, could you imagine if that was Donald Trump's dog? Could you imagine if it was a Republican dog at the White House? It would be Secret Service attacked, the dog dragged off the Secret Service, blood every place. It was an absolute, this is an outrage. It's exactly what Republicans hate cats. I don't know, maybe I just threw that in there.
No, they already would have probably put the dog down if it would have been Trump's dog.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, back to the school thing.
Yes, sir.
As a grandfather, I've got grandchildren that have asthma issues and breathing issues. They're all in elementary school, And the masks are creating more of a problem than not. I second the opinion of the woman who used the word home learning. That is exactly what the kids were forced to do because of the medical situation of the children. They were forced to home. Are they getting everything that they need? By no means. The social interaction's gone. They're not learning as well. They're missing their friends. I mean, it's messing them up emotionally.
Yeah.
Taking that one step further, I've got two colleagues that work with me, and their children are, one of them specifically is going to need emotional therapy when this is all said and done. I mean, every time we turn around, I mean, she walks around with a bottle of sanitizer everywhere she goes. She ends up, nobody can touch her iPad. Nobody can touch her books, her papers. She literally sprays down every doorknob she comes to. I mean, we can't even take her out in the public to restaurants and stuff for the simple fact of being that she's scared to death she's going to die.
Yeah.
Everybody, they have gotten these kids to the point where they're absolutely scared to death, and they're causing damage on these very young psyches that don't know how to handle this.
Yeah.
And as adults, we can store this and put it away and put it on the shelf. As a child, once this is imprinted into their head, it's stuck, and it takes years and years for these psychiatrists and professionals to get the damage that's done to a child out of their head if it really didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, we go back to Fauci's original statement.
Yeah, no masks and then changing it. Yeah, and then changing it. Yeah. No, I understand.
These kids so screwed up.
Yeah.
That I don't know that they're going to recover.
Yeah. Well, Billy, listen, I appreciate the call there in Naples. We've got a lot of folks that are holding that want to comment on this. Laura's in Bonita. She wanted to comment on this. Collier County parents pose masks in schools at the school district. What are your thoughts on this, Laura?
Hi. My son's in Lee County in Bonita, and none of the kids want to wear masks. The teachers complained constantly because the kids couldn't leave them on, especially the elementary. He's 9. They physically can't do it. It's up, it's down. Once you touch that mask, the integrity is gone. Yeah. So what their solution was for now is they put up plexiglass in between each one of the desks so they don't have to have them on in class, but they have to put them on in the hallways. But that also blocks, and it's a distraction because they can't see the teacher. So, I mean, it's still, it's better that they don't have to have them in class. So I'll give them that for, realizing that it was impossible for the kids to keep the masks on at that time. And I agree with everything everybody else said. It's bad for their psyche. It's just bad, and we need to be done with it. The data speaks differently. So thanks for letting me give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call, Laura. We appreciate it. John's in Estero wanted to comment on this as well. Hey, John.
Hey, good morning. Happy birthday, Jake. So,
thank you.
You're very welcome. 3 perspectives. I have a kid who's doing the home learning, and he highly dislikes it, wants to get back into school, but won't go back to school because he doesn't wear a mask. I have another one who's in Cape who wears a mask, hates going to school because she has to wear a mask, but, it is what it is at this point.
Right.
And then the third one is this, which was interesting to me. I emailed one of my son's learning teachers because she sent out a mass email to the whole class about the kids not keeping their mask on. What I found out was Lee County schools, if you're a high-risk teacher, which she is, she's in her 3rd trimester of pregnancy, she wanted to teach from home and do distance teaching so that the kids could learn in class, right?
Right.
They wouldn't allow for or accommodate for her to do that.
They wouldn't?
No.
So what? So she's not able to teach. They have somebody else to do it in person, and not even having that option as an option.
Correct. The teacher. So she either in her 3rd trimester, her options were lose her job, or go to school and teach.
Well, I got to look into that, John. Thanks for the call there in Estero. Curious about that. The one overriding theme that we're starting to see. I'm going to take one more call before we go to break, but the one overarching theme in all of the things that we're talking about right now is you see what it's doing to our kids and their psyche and what they're having to deal with on a daily basis. And again, that's something that is never, well, I'm not saying it's never addressed. We talk about it here on this program. Others have, but it's not addressed enough. Christina's in Naples. Hey, Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
I attempted to attend the school board meeting yesterday, but I was ejected because I refused to wear a mask. And they just have such a heavy-handed approach. There was an employee of the school district, who initially was telling me that I had to leave, even though I was in the lobby. The meeting was going on, so there was nobody else in the lobby. So I told him I'm socially distanced. There's nobody else around. And when I refused to leave, then he got a sheriff from inside the meeting room who also told me that I had to leave. And I asked what would happen if I did not leave, and he said that I would be arrested and charged with trespass.
Wow.
And I think it's outrageous. I told the sheriff, I have a much of the police than this. I think this is beneath you. And I told the gentleman.
Oh, Christina, listen, I'm so sorry, but we're having a problem with your connection. I don't know what's going on there. But again, you see the emotion in all of this when it comes to masks, mask mandates, our kids, and it's real. It is real. All right, listen, we ran long. We're not going to be able to do Drew's College this morning. I am so sorry. Look at Jake. Jake's disappointed. We can't, right? I mean, we don't have enough time. No, I know. I ran long on this segment, but I really did want to take your calls, and I know a lot of folks are continuing to call about this. We'll pick this up. I want to remind you, coming up, Jenna Ellis is going to join us in just a little bit. So we'll do that. We'll get Jenna Ellis on. Some issues going on with the Supreme Court. You're not going to want to miss it. Our good friend, Jenna Ellis. And then we'll talk more about this coming up next break. On Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. DrewSteele.com is the website. Don't forget to send your birthday wishes. That's the word I'm looking for. To Jake the Millennial, because it's all he has. No gifts, no money, no friends, nothing. It's all you. You're his only friend. So send the message now. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along. How'd that work out?
This is 92.5 Fox News.
We've been waiting for COVID-19 vaccines to be developed. Now, waiting for them to get to us. But you can do more than wait. You have powerful ways to help slow the spread right now and protect your family and loved ones too. Here's how. Watch your distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. It's risky to be indoors with them too. And of course, avoid crowds. Also, wear a mask. CDC reports masks protect the people who wear them and folks around them. And wash your hands using soap and water for 20 seconds. And do it frequently. Vaccines won't make COVID go away overnight, but they give us a real chance to finally overcome it. As long as we keep watching our distance, wearing our masks, and washing our hands.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You probably know Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Hi, this is Dr. Scheibel from Community Eye Center. My partner, Dr. Spatafora, and I want to remind everybody, don't be a spreader. The coronavirus is so tiny, 100 million particles fit on the head of a pin. The virus can only move with us. Over 65, diabetes, COPD, all these folks will be hurt severely by this virus. Wash your hands, be careful, don't be a spreader.
I can't think of anything scarier than losing my vision. You have an emergency room at the hospital, so we decided we should have an emergency center since we are the preeminent practice in the area. If it warrants a phone call, enough for you to take the time to call us, we want to see you. You need access to immediate care, and sometimes you just need somebody to say, hey, we're going to get you through this, you're going to be okay. Someone is always here to help take care of people. You just come right in. We're here to take care of you because we take that very seriously. At Community Eye Center, we are the most caring doctors in sight.
Call Community Eye Center today, 844-235-2020. That's 844-235-2020. Or log on to communityeyecenters.com.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra-low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station. 92.5 Fox News.
On today.
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says even though the Senate stripped a provision raising the minimum wage, Democrats are united in support of the $1.9 trillion bill, providing, among other things, stimulus checks and extending enhanced unemployment benefits. Fox's Jared Halpern at the Capitol. Not a single Republican in Congress has supported the measure at any point, arguing the spending is far from tailored to the pandemic and instead funds a liberal wish list and a bailout for blue states. Texas has been unmasked.
Texas once had a seemingly uncontrolled COVID-19 problem, but now Governor Greg Abbott says today masks are no longer mandated by the state, and businesses can resume normal operations, but only if they want.
Fox's Eben Brown. Some businesses and stores will still require people to wear masks. President Biden controversially called lifting mask mandates Neanderthal thinking. Several Republican-led states have done it. In the push to get more COVID vaccine shots into more arms, Alaska is leading the way. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has this live.
Dave, everyone who is 16 years old and up who lives or works in Alaska is now eligible to get a COVID vaccination. Governor Mike Dunleavy's announcement yesterday makes Alaska the first state to do that. He says the Pfizer vaccine is available to those 16 and up, while the Johnson & Johnson and Moderna vaccines can be given to those 18 and up. He says some parts of the state have reached 90% vaccination rates among seniors. Dave.
There's now royal reaction to Prince Harry and his American wife Meghan Markle, alleging some in the family worried about the skin color of their first child since she's biracial.
Texas once had a seemingly uncontrolled...
Benjamin Hall in London was supposed to be telling us that the Queen has reacted to this claim for the first time. America's listening to Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is at a creep and crawl on 75 from a disabled vehicle near Corkscrew Road. This is affecting traffic from Aligo to Corkscrew heading south. Don't get stuck in that. Go ahead and avoid this. Stick to 3 Oaks or 41. Very easy options. Also, if you're heading out to Corkscrew Road, creep and crawl delays starting from Bellaterra all the way to the interstate. There is a crash at Orange Grove Boulevard and Hancock Bridge Parkway in North Fort Myers. Eastbound delays on Hancock Bridge. Northbound slowdowns on Orange Grove. With the Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach or pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. If you're thinking about buying new windows, consider New South. And don't even think about hiring a middleman until you see what our factory can do for you. New South windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Some of the biggest advertising air conditioning companies locally are not really local. They're part of national and international conglomerates, and you're just another number on the bottom line. At Kobe Cooling, we live right here. Our children and grandchildren live right here. We sponsor your kids' sports teams, local scholarships, local food banks, and all kinds of local organizations. We're not for sale now, and we never will be. The Kobe family started Kobe Cooling, we run it, and we even run service calls too. So when you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Local families serving local families. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Hey, it's Adam Botana again from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the only family-owned and operated boat club in Southwest Florida. And when it comes to members to boat ratio, bottom line, we have the best fleet and availability at any boat club in the area. Fishing, cruising, water sports, Baywater will get you set up. Want to keep the boat overnight? Want to let the kids use the membership? At Baywater, anything is possible. This weekend, we are having our 15th anniversary open house. We'd love for you to come by, have some lunch, and check out the club. And if you join this weekend, special pricing. No dues for 3 months. Right, no dues for 3 months. Stop by and see the Baywater difference. Call me, Adam Botana, at 239-495-0455. That's 495-0455. One more time, that's 495-0455. Or find us online at bwboatclub.com or Google Baywater Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida.
The new administration has big plans for healthcare. Changes are coming that could limit your choice and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan, which allows you to pick your doctors and hospital. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can log into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience, at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website. You can watch anytime you would like. Jenna Ellis. Here she is, everybody. She's with us right now. The great Jenna Ellis joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. You know, of course, constitutional law attorney. And oh, by the way, just happens to have her own podcast that just dropped. Did it drop yesterday? When did it drop? Was it yesterday the first day?
Good morning. And yes, the first episode dropped yesterday, and it is all about election integrity, by the way. I keep getting all of the questions about what's going on, what happened. So I spent an hour going in depth on the constitutional parameters, everything that happened. So definitely go and listen to that wherever you listen to your podcast, and then have one dropping today, which is a great interview with two of my really good friends talking all about critical race theory and the impact of that into the law and the overall philosophy of culture and, you know, a bunch of other things. So really excited about that. So it's called Just the Truth, and you can, of course, go and listen. So thanks.
All right. Just the Truth. Make sure you're listening. All right. Lots to talk about. I wanted to dig right in. I want to touch on election integrity and what you talked about on the podcast in just a bit. But first, I have to ask you about the Supreme Court case on Monday The ABC News, here's how they reported. Supreme Court sides with Christian students silenced on Georgia campus. And Chief Justice Roberts was the only one to dissent. I have a question about that part, but tell us about the case specifically.
Yeah, so this is, of course, another college that violated the constitutionally protected rights of students who wanted to evangelize on campus, and they were able to hand out literature, talk about their faith. They were in the free speech zone on campus, actually had a permit even to pass out the literature. So clearly the college was just targeting them exercising their religious liberty, and eventually the college rolled back that policy, said, admitted that they were in the wrong. But the case moved forward because, and here's the interesting part about this case, because clearly that is a constitutionally protected right. The students were correct, but they, instead of just alleging an equity claim and saying, there was a violation of a constitutionally protected right, they actually also asked for $1 in damages, which is concrete. And typically, those types of nominal damages are not actual damages. They're not quantifiable. And so what's interesting about this is that for the majority, that represents kind of an expansion of some of the cases potentially that the Supreme Court will hear, because they didn't dismiss the case as moot, which means that, well, just because the college went back and, said, okay, we've changed our policy, then now there's no live controversy because the students had actually asked for damages in the value of $1. And so Thomas, for the court's majority, said that if the court would recognize $1 in economic injury for a wasted bus fare and traveling to the free speech zone, it would certainly have to recognize $1 for a completed violation of a constitutional right. And he's correct. And so I think that this represents a way that future litigants are going to try to preserve the controversy of the case, to have an opinion on some of these really important issues that the court genuinely should hear. And so what happened, of course, is Chief Justice Roberts said, well, if all we're doing is putting in nominal damages of $1 to keep a case live, then that really, in practical terms, is more like an advisory opinion. And he called the majority advice columnist, which I think he's correct in that. Yeah, because he's basically saying there wasn't really an injury. The case should have been moot. Now we're just giving advice. But they weren't just giving advice. They were giving a concrete resolution to a First Amendment claim. So Thomas, of course, is in the right here.
Right. So does that mean that now free speech zones on campus could be an issue across the board? I mean, is there specifically now, can a focus be on a free speech zone and how it's being used at every college? Now do we have precedent to set examples for all colleges?
Well, so, I mean, of course, this continues to protect, the precedent of this case continues to protect the right of Christian students and other students of other faiths, of course, to utilize a free speech zone in a way that any other student would be able to. So they can't discriminate against specifically Christian students for handing out faith-based literature, which that should have been obvious to the college.
Yeah, and I think that I think it was clarified even early on that, the discussion about this case specifically was about all faiths. Listen, this is about everybody. This is about everybody being able to step in and being able to speak freely. Doesn't make it. It's not just about. I mean, ABC. Of course, it is this specific case being a Christian on campus, but it could be anybody. It's anybody's free speech.
Well, yeah, and so of course, ABC is, and all of the leftist mainstream media are doing the very thing in reporting this case that the college was doing in breaching the constitutionally protected rights, which is targeting specifically Christian students.
Yeah.
In a free speech zone on campus, that should apply to everyone, regardless of whether you are faith-based, non-faith-based, no matter what the issue is that you want to talk about, faith included. You shouldn't be targeted just or treated differently just because you're a Christian. But even the mainstream media in reporting this case is getting it wrong.
Right. The great Jenna Ellis joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Don't forget, she's got a brand new podcast dropped yesterday, and we'll continue on the days ahead, and looking forward to hearing all about it, Just the Truth. So make sure you're checking that out. And, of course, we were talking a little bit about the Supreme Court, and also, your first podcast talks about election integrity, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of questions being asked. And about, I mean, we could go on and all day, but we only have a certain amount of time. And boy, I could. But let me ask you this.
I ranted for an hour.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
That's right. You got plenty of time. That's why you go check out the podcast, because you can hear all about it in detail, in length.
Yeah.
So you have, and I mentioned this to you yesterday about the Supreme Court or likely to uphold. This is how the AP is reporting it, the Arizona voting restrictions. And now the talk from the AP is about, it's going to make it harder to challenge other voting measures now, and all of these issues that have been presented about the voting restrictions in that specific state, and what kind of can of worms are we opening up, and what could be happening in the future. But ultimately, we need to really address this, because after the fact, Jenna, as you've mentioned, man, do people have questions. Man, are people worried about, and even with H.R. 1 and what they're trying to push there on the House side, and now the Senate's visiting this, and how scary that is. How now more than ever, we've got to, if we're going to maintain our constitutional republic, focus on election integrity. But how do we do that? Where are we looking, and what is the truth about election integrity?
Yeah, well, we have to be focused moving forward. I know that people who saw everything that happened in 2020 with the just total, complete violation of so many of the laws and the rules in at least 6 states are really frustrated. And I share that indignation. I share that that sense of injustice, right? Because as Americans, we understand that our justice system is supposed to then hold people accountable for violations of the law. That didn't happen in 2020. There's a sense of injustice, but we also have to move forward to say, okay, how can we then, because the courts refused to hear the cases that they should have, how can we move forward then and redress that grievance in another viable pathway, which is, of course, to go into the state legislatures and require them to put back up reasonable safeguards and to actually address election integrity in their states. And these 6 states are all Republican majority controlled. They should be able to pass common sense legislation that not only requires that the state legislatures have to sign off on state certifications, not leave it to these rogue executive branch election officials and executive agencies like these secretaries of state. They can do that, but they also need to make sure that they are not allowing for these measures like universal vote by mail and ballot harvesting and all of these things that were not just problematic, but were actually ushered in by Democrats through the pretext of the pandemic. So there's a lot we can do legislatively to cure this even before 2022. But what conservatives need to focus on is not on the frustration and the grievance of 2020. And again, I share that. I was, right there in the front line.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would know a thing or two about the frustration, right?
Totally. But we have to also, if we're going to change anything and not just be frustrated again in 2022, the legislative measure is what we have to focus on.
Right. So is that why H.R. 1 is so dangerous? Because it's taking the power of the states away to be able to do this. Constitutional powers, by the way, right? 14th Amendment constitutional powers, then now giving it to the federal government and changing the things that we would like to see firmed up with specific states now with an H.R. 1 that could pass, that ultimately we would look at the changes that would continue to see some of the bad things that we noticed were happening in 2020 codified in law. I mean, is that is that your concern?
Oh, absolutely. And there's even a more fundamental concern than that, which is that Congress has absolutely no constitutional power to federalize this power of election law into the federal government. They are trying to have a stronger federal government and remove, the Constitution specifically grants election law authority to the state legislature. So Congress can't violate that separation of powers and just say, well, we're going to do better and we want to decide for you, states. That's what H.R. 1 is doing. So even if people who are listening to this agree somehow with H.R. 1, then we can, debate that. I think it's terrible policy for exactly the reasons that you just said, Drew. But even more fundamentally than that, Congress can't do it because it's a violation of the separation of powers, not just between the federal branches, but between the powers that are delegated to federal Congress versus the state legislature. So it's absolutely unconstitutional. If it passes, the Supreme Court the next day should say that it's unconstitutional.
Will it be taken up? That's the remedy, right? Is to go to the court and spell this out. Because and here's the worry, Jenna, and you know this better than anybody. So what I'm about to tell you, you are the expert in this, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes, because we're told over and over again that every remedy that was out there failed, every single one of them. But the most important, some of the most important cases being, if you're looking at 2020, the concerns about what happened in places like Pennsylvania and other states, going to the Supreme Court, they never listened to or heard the case, right? It's not like it was a losing proposition. It's not like they looked, they decided, they laid it all out, there were decisions made, and that's not what happened. And so when people say everything has, every case brought is a losing case, that's not true. And so until they listen and hear the cases, that's everyone's frustration, and we would hope that would be the case with H.R. 1. Will they take it up? Will they strike it down? Will they hear it? Is the question.
Well, that's the concern now with so many of these runaway power grabs from the Democrat progressive left, is that we hope that we have a judiciary that will rein in the power of the two political branches. That's what the judicial branch was originally intended for. The judicial branch doesn't have any power in and of itself other than to hold accountable to the Constitution and the principle of limited government, limited powers given to the political branches of government. And if the judicial branch is not willing to do that job, then that's telling the two political branches, you can basically do whatever you want, and you can go and power grab wherever you actually don't have authority, because no one is willing to hold you accountable to the rules. And that's what happened in 2020. The fact that none of the judges, and all the way up to the Supreme Court, were not even willing to hear the merits of the case. We didn't lose any of the cases. They refused to hear them.
Right.
And that's what was so shocking, especially with the Texas versus Pennsylvania case in the Supreme Court under original jurisdiction that should have been heard on the merits. And that way we know that we have a functioning judicial branch.
So then in maybe I'm wrong about this, but you'll tell me. So in a roundabout way, there's no precedent that's been set up by any case previous if it were presented that H.R. 1 would be unconstitutional because of the states' rights issue, then that could still be, that there's no precedent. That could still be presented. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going?
Well, sure. And there's definitely precedent in terms of, federalism and the distribution of powers and how, the separation of powers and things like that. So, so it depends on who challenges it, how they challenge it. But I guarantee you that the Democrats are hoping, if it passes, that a challenge will fail in the judicial branch, and they will just be able to exercise this power grab. But that's why it's so incredibly important for these cases to be brought, but even more importantly, for legislation that is unconstitutional on face should never be passed to begin with. And that's the danger of having Democrats in control. And frankly, even some Republicans who've advanced policies that, they may happen to like. We all have to remember the first rule of American government is limited government.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes that word limited, people forget or ignore or just don't want to hear. It gets to be frustrating. All right. The great Jenna Ellis. Jenna, tell everybody where they can hear you, where they can see you. Give them the whole scoop.
Yes, so definitely follow me on social media at Jenna Ellis ESQ across all channels, and tune into Just the Truth podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, and then also on Real America's Voice News at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for Just the Truth TV. That's on all the digital channels, and we're really excited to put out Just the Truth. This isn't about policy, one way or the other. This is about making sure that we have the truth of the rule of law and the Constitution.
All right, Jenna Ellis. Love having you on. We'll do this again soon. I know you're busy, but I appreciate more than you know, just a few minutes. So thanks so much.
Anytime.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Anytime.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks. There she goes. Jenna Ellis joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, drewsteele.com, the website if you want to watch. Don't forget, Steele has 3 E's. And we will have more coming up to the top 5 audio clips of the day, the 5 at 8:35. And a lot of people called about the issue that we talked about last hour. Collier County parents oppose masks in schools at the school district. The CCPS heard an earful yesterday. So want to get your thoughts. You have kids in schools. What do you think about your kids and wearing masks for 8 hours a day? Are you concerned? What are they saying? What are your concerns as a parent? And this issue specifically, we're going to get into all of that coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
I cannot tell you how awesome it is when my family comes over and I say, you're going to get great tasting water straight from your faucet. I'm telling you, it's great on your skin, your hair, and your appliances. Think of what your water's doing now. Well, you should call now for your free multi-point Pentair water test. And I'm telling you, you're going to love the way your water tastes with your new Pentair water system. Every faucet in your house, it's the coolest thing ever. And there's a big difference when you call a Pentair water specialist. When you give Max a call at Pentair, trained, uniformed experts in our city and well water. That's a big deal, right? With their mobile showroom, you're wondering what you're going to get. A wide range of water treatment options, and you can see them in front of you. They install your new Pentair water system for you, and the big news right now is Pentair has a new Easy Flow under-counter filtration system. It is certified to reduce 99% of lead. Call now for your free water test, and right now save 15% on your whole home water system like I have in my house. With Pentair, never any sales pressure, so call them 239-880-7799 or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
Are you looking for the perfect spot for your retirement? Just add water. Shell Point Retirement Community is located in Fort Myers on the Caloosahatchee River, just minutes from the Gulf of Mexico and Sanibel Island. Enjoy a vibrant waterfront lifestyle with miles of walking and bike trails. For boaters, there's a private marina with free boat docks to keep your boat right at home. Or join your friends on the community boat for cruises to local restaurants and beaches. Shell Point is comprised of 7 neighborhoods with scenic water views. Life slows down on the water as residents enjoy kayaking through hundreds of acres of secluded bird-filled waterways. To learn more about waterfront living at Shell Point, schedule a private appointment or attend one of our weekly group seminars, which include a tour of the community. Call 239-466-1131 or go online to shellpoint.org. Enjoy waterfront living today. It's all here at Shell Point.
Hot out today, huh?
You know it.
Glad the AC's working.
No kidding.
What if the AC quit?
Oh, man. Couldn't do a thing inside then.
Too hot.
No way Ashley could do her homework in here.
Hard to concentrate.
Wouldn't even bother trying to study.
Well...
Of course her grades would slip.
Dave.
She could kiss Harvard goodbye.
Dave.
Probably end up homeless. Oh, my little girl.
Dave.
What?
What's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, best case, I make one call, AC's back up and running right away, everything's fine.
That's best?
Oh, sure, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 AC trucks standing by waiting for you to call, loaded with parts, ready to go.
Right now?
Right now.
Huh. Sure is hot out today.
GetBest.com.
When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So you're saying
she can still go to Harvard.
Hi, this is Dr. Scheibel from Community Eye Center. My partner, Dr. Spatafor, and I want to remind everybody, don't be a spreader. The coronavirus is so tiny, 100 million particles fit on the head of a pin. The virus can only move with us. Over 65, diabetes, COPD, all these folks will be hurt severely by this virus. Wash your hands, be careful, don't be a spreader.
I can't think of anything scarier than losing my vision. You have an emergency room at the hospital, so we decided we should have an emergency center since we are the preeminent practice in the area. If it warrants a phone call, enough for you to take the time to call us, we want to see you. You need access to immediate care, and sometimes you just need somebody to say, hey, we're going to get you through this, you're going to be okay. Someone is always here to help take care of people. You just come right in. We're here to take care of you because we take that very seriously. At Community Eye Center, we are the most caring doctors in sight.
Call Community Eye Center today, 844-235-2020. That's 844-235-2020. Or log on to communityeyecenters.com.
Where are you going to be St. Patrick's Day?
We're bringing back good times and great food.
St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, everything's Irish at Mel's Diner with corned beef and cabbage prepared the old-fashioned way. Boiled slowly in a kettle and served with split-pea soup, garden-fresh veggies, and potato. All for only $16.99.
I can tell you, Mel's corned beef and cabbage is the real deal.
Take your St. Patrick's Day celebration outside with outdoor dining at Mel's in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Of course, there's dine-in at all Mel's locations, or get your St. Patrick's Day meal to go. The choice is yours.
You can enjoy your St. Patrick's meal with green beer, just $2.99.
This complete dinner is only $16.99. St. Patrick's Day at all Mel's Diner locations. It's the absolute best corned beef and cabbage you've ever had.
I'll be looking for you St. Patrick's Day at Mel's Diner.
You need a fast, reliable network. So get fast, reliable internet from Comcast Business and add advanced security with Comcast Business Security Edge. They have 24/7 support, it's fast internet, and advanced security made simple. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, what is that beautiful SUV? I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, how much does it cost? I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples at Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months and $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
The interstate is slammed. It's at a creep and crawl if you're heading south of Alico to Corkscrew. A FedEx truck broke down in the middle of the highway near Corkscrew. So that's what's causing all this mess. Avoid it. Stick to 3 Oaks or US 41. Also, still seeing that slowdown on Daniels Parkway as you're heading west towards I-75. Now, if you are in Lehigh Acres, a crash reported at Jaguar and Pine Cove Drive. This is slowing traffic at the intersection. And a crash at Airport Pulling Road and YMCA Road is slowing traffic south on Airport. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Cool morning and a warm afternoon. Same type of pattern as we're going to be starting with 50s and ending it with highs rebounding near 80 degrees. Mixture of sunshine and clouds and breezy. We keep that pattern going through Thursday and Friday. For the weekend, a lot of beach and pool time. I have a feeling the beaches are going to be packed. mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s with our rain chances at slim to none. The 80s continue into next week, and once we hit about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a few showers are going to be possible. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
It's not the Republican Party versus the Democrat Party.
Talking about what matters.
It's the Republican Party versus an organized crime syndicate.
92.5 Fox News.
Hi, I'm Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. You've heard me say we're the working and retired person's country club. This means coming in for a meal, a drink, or with a party, and we will obtain your complete satisfaction with our food, service, and value. We strive for excellence with your service experience and our food. So on the rare occasion we fall short, tell us and we'll fix it. Plus, at Stevie Tomatoes, there are no pretenses, no attitudes, high prices, or rushing you in or out. Come relax, enjoy yourself, and be yourself. At Stevie's, we love meeting the men and women who currently and in the past work hard to make America great. We appreciate their values, honesty, industriousness, and affection for this great country. So head to Stevie's, where we strive for excellence in everything we do. I guarantee it. In Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Come, come, come.
Stevie Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay it time. Always on time or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America. NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, we're going to get to your calls coming up, 239-479-5592. A lot of people want to talk about this. A group of parents showed up to the Collier County Public School Board meeting yesterday. Wanted to let the school board members know that they want masks to be made optional, at schools. And so I'm wondering if you are a parent, you've got kids in school right now, your thoughts on this and how your kids are handling it and what you think about masks being optional and what's going on with your family when it comes to masks and your kids. And, people are saying, listen, this is already cruel. It's already hard enough. There are kids that have allergies and some problems there. And it's wrong and child abuse to put masks on our children every single day and send them back to school. They're not meant to be wearing masks 8 hours a day. What are your thoughts on this? So we'll get to your calls. I see some folks calling already. So you can call in right now, 239-479-5592. We'll get to those calls. But first, top 5 audio clips of the day. It's a 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
And then if I could just...
No, that's not a former Donald Trump press conference with Kayleigh McEnany at the White House or anything like. No. That's it's another weekend at Biden's moment where it seems like the president of the United States, not seems like, but it wasn't really very. He went to visit a hardware store in D.C. and they whisked them off. His handlers did. No gaffes when you don't talk and when you don't answer questions. It's been more than 48 days now since the president has been in office. Not a single formal press conference, but that's fine. Nothing to see here. Move along. Everything's fine.
Number 4.
You know from the Biden administration that they say it will make its decisions based on science. What's the science behind not saying it's safe for people who have been vaccinated, received 2 doses, to travel?
They're being careful, understandably. They want to get science. They want to get data. And then when you don't have the data and you don't have the actual evidence, then you've got to make a judgment call.
Well, that's interesting. There's the Fauci this morning on CNN as the CDC, fully vaccinated people can gather without masks and should avoid travel. And so the CNN anchor's like, well, what's the science for denying vaccinated Americans the return to travel? I mean, if you can be hanging out with others that are vaccinated or even some that aren't, you're saying you could do it in your house, but you can't travel. What's it? And so the Fauci says, look, when you don't have the data and you don't have the actual evidence, what do? You make a judgment call, everybody. That's what you do. You guess. No, you don't.
Number 3.
I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this program. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
There's Piers Morgan. I guess he's on Good Morning Britain or some show over there, not doing so well over here. So he goes over there and he's on a show and he walked out. And that's it. He was told off by one of the other hosts about not being friendly with Meghan Markle, Prince Harry and that whole thing. And he has had enough and he walked off and I guess he quit the program. And the only reason why it's relevant or the reason why I played it on the program today is just because I really think British accents are really cool. That's it.
Number 2.
It's hard for us to understand how the Republicans can vote against this bill because it has such an impact on their constituents. Our members are well aware of that and also the value, the intellectual excellence of what is in the legislation.
Oh, there's intellectual, what did she say? The intellectual excellence in the American Rescue Plan, the quote-unquote COVID relief bill. It's really not a COVID relief bill because if only 9% is being used for COVID relief and you say that, hey, your beef stick is 100% beef, and it says, no, on the label it only says 9% beef. Pfft, no, it's 100% because I said it. No, it doesn't work that way. Where's the excellence in there? I'm not really sure. But it's a Democrat thing, and you know how it goes with excellence and Democrats. There is none.
Number 1.
Can you clarify for us what happened with the president's dogs? There's some reports that one of them was involved in a biting incident. Can you clarify exactly what happened?
Sure. Champion Major, the president and first lady's dogs, members of the family, are still getting acclimated and accustomed to their new surroundings and new people. And on Monday, the first family's younger dog, Major, was surprised by an unfamiliar person and reacted in a way that resulted in a minor injury to the individual, which was handled by the White House Medical Unit with no further treatment needed.
Oh, that's it. No big deal. Nothing to see here. Biden's dog bit a Secret Service agent, but it depends on who you ask, because according to Jen Psaki in the White House, no big deal. It was a little incident, got surprised, bit somebody and medical staff, but nothing minor. If you ask NBC News, Biden's German Shepherd Major nips Secret Service agents on the hand, causing extremely minor injury. That's it. It was just a nip. It's just a little thing. Like little dogs do little nips. Of course, there's a German Shepherd, a really big dog. But that's beside the point. But then CNN says Biden's German Shepherd has aggressive incident and is sent back to Delaware. What was it? Aggressive? What was it? President Biden's dog spooked, causes minor injury incident. NPR. So was there blood? Was there no blood? Was it minor? Look, if it happened to anybody else, if it was a Republican president, could you imagine the headlines? Could you just imagine?
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Yeah, we don't want to think about it, but we do want to think about this because it's the best part of the story. Joe, was it Joe? I don't know. Who kicked the dog out of the White House? Who kicked the dog out? Who kicked the dog out? Joe. Who kicked the dog out? Joe. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live there on drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's anytime you want to watch. We always appreciate that. All right, enough of the nonsense. All right, stop. That's enough. No nonsense. Let's move on. All right, lots of people are calling about this, so let's talk about it. Collier County parents opposed masks in schools and school districts, and parents showed up to the Collier County Public School Board meeting yesterday trying to make a difference about masks. And I just want to know what you think, whether you're in Lee, Collier, Charlotte, wherever you're listening, Hendry Glades, I don't know where you're, out of town. A lot of people listen out of town. What do you think about your kids and wearing masks in school, and what's it been like for you and your family? That's what I want to know now. So if you want to call, 239-479-5592. All right, let's go down. We got a rack of calls. Let's do it. John in Naples. John, your thoughts on this?
Hey, good morning, Drew. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Well, when my wife sent me a text yesterday telling me, like, with a little attachment about this, like, the first thing I did was I got a little nervous because I just dropped my son off at school, and I'm actually thrilled to have both my kids in school.
Yeah.
And I'm just afraid something like this, I don't want to throw a wrench in it. Like, the school year seems to be going fine. And I just worry about, like, kids showing up without masks, and then teachers start to get, oh, well, I'm not teaching if the kids aren't wearing masks. Like, it would just be nice if we could just get through the year without any excitement, because you hear about what's going on in California, where kids haven't been in school in a year. And, like, as far as I'm concerned, I think Collier County has done a great job getting the kids back to school and, like, being optional with the goggles and everything. So they're making concessions here and there, and they let the kids take the masks off for, like, lunch, and they give them breaks and things.
Wait. Let me stop. Hold on, John. Let me stop you for a second. Sure. Optional goggles? The kids, kids are wearing goggles?
Well, if they want to, you see kids wearing, like, the face shields or goggles, but they don't have to. Like, at first it was mandatory, and then there was pushback at the beginning of the year, and they made the concession, like, okay, you don't have to wear the goggles, but you do have to wear the mask.
Yeah.
And it's going okay. I don't think it's causing my kids any added stress or preventing them from learning or anything, but it would be a nice thing I appreciate the parents speaking up and bringing it up, but it would just be nice if we could get through the year and maybe address it over the summer.
Yeah, well, I think that, and thanks for the call, John. And to your point, we hope that it will be addressed specifically, because even when the CDC laid down these guidelines about what we should be doing during school, and what they said, and what Fauci and the leaders at the CDC said about schools and reopening schools, and people looking at all of the information that Fauci and the CDC put out, but not getting into some of the specifics that were brought up by people who actually, through science, doctors, 4 doctors in particular, who conducted one of the major studies in Wisconsin, their work in Wisconsin cited by the CDC, and somehow the CDC decided to pass over this information because those doctors were like, wait, can I just tell you something? The CDC is misrepresenting what we're talking about. And they hit back at the CDC for a lot of information that was left out. Just a reminder to everybody, as of March 3rd, 286. Now, again, we're not minimizing deaths. We're just giving you the information. This is not minimizing deaths at all of anybody. This is just the thing that you don't hear. As of March 3rd, 286 children have died from COVID as compared to more than 500,000 adults. That's on par with the number of children who die from pneumonia every year. We're losing more kids right now due to suicide than we're losing through COVID. Another point that they brought up, these doctors, who again, the CDC cited selectively apparently, is that the transmission rate in schools is shockingly low. They cited a Wisconsin community where the test positivity rate reached more than 40%. Think about this, 40% positivity rate in this area of Wisconsin in the community. But among the nearly 5,000 students, 654 staff members participating in classroom education with only minimal precautions, 7 students tested positive over the course of the study. 0 teachers contracted the disease. No data supports the need for 6 feet of social distancing in school, a requirement that blocks almost all schools from fully reopening. They're saying 3 feet is fine. There's just numbers that are there that, again, we have to communicate with parents and kids so that they understand, because the fear and the worry that people have about what we've talked about, suicide and the like, has to be addressed. All right, Brenda's in Cape Coral, wanted to weigh in. Hey, Brenda.
Hi, thanks for having me, Andrew.
Yes.
I live in Lee County, and we've been fighting the mask mandates in the district as well since school started. My daughter, who's 10, she is not allowed to go to school because she has severe asthma. And the doctor's note and the mask exemption isn't enough for the district. So she is left doing school from home and desperately wants to go back.
Yeah. It's tough, and it's clearly weighing on her.
Well, it's sad because they're not looking at the science. They're looking at what CDC tells them to do. And if I'm wondering if CDC says jump off the bridge, are they going to tell 1 out of 5 kids to jump off the bridge? Because that's great. Yeah, and kids. No, we don't. We're not suggesting kids. Good message. Good point there, Brenda. Kids, don't do drugs. Okay, good call. All right, Brenda. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Tyson is in Fort Myers. Tyson, my friend, how old are you, Tyson?
I'm 11 years old.
All right, Tyson. I want you to be honest. What are you thinking about these masks that you got to wear?
I don't agree with them because whenever we go to lunch, they have us in like a big room and we take all of our masks off. It makes no sense.
Really? Well, wait a minute. You mean you don't have a hole in your mask that you shove the food through or anything like that?
No, they have us like fully take our masks off and then we just all eat in this big area. There's no social distancing or anything.
Maybe you ever think of this, Tyson? Are you ready? Maybe COVID doesn't like school food. Maybe they don't like the pizza or any of the stuff. What's your favorite food that you get at school? Like, what do you like there?
I like it whenever they make the chicken nuggets.
Oh, I got to tell you something, Tyson. This is just the two of us talking. You ready? It's a known scientific fact that COVID hates chicken nuggets. So that's probably what it is. If you load your plate up with chicken nuggets, you don't have to. I'm just kidding, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what COVID likes or doesn't. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate the call. Okay, you keep doing what you do. By the way, what's your favorite subject in school?
Social studies.
And what are you going to do when you graduate? What do you want to do?
I want to be an engineer for NASA.
Yes, I like that.
He's going to find aliens.
Are you doing this because you want to find aliens, or do you want to? See, Tyson, here's what you can do. You can work for NASA and be an engineer, and you can create something that will filter COVID all over the globe, that we won't have to wear a mask, that there'll be some kind of atmospheric filter that will take it out. And I'm trusting you to do that, okay? You're going to create an atmospheric filter that will filter out COVID across the planet.
Okay, I'll try my hardest.
All right, buddy, you do that. All right, so get started right now, and no pressure, but I'll check back in with you in 5 years, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, there goes Tyson. Dennis is in Fort Myers. Hey, buddy. Is Dennis there?
Yes. Hey, Drew. Good morning. Love the show.
Dennis the Menace. Go. Hi, Dennis.
Yeah, I had recently visited my dentist a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me that he was
this is starting out really good. Hold on a second. I just recently. Okay, there's a point. No, it's rare that you're talking about masks and COVID, and somebody calls and says 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend sugarless gum. Then we're still asking about the one that says, "Yeah, sugar up. You're fine. Your teeth are going to be okay." Go ahead.
He just basically was letting me know that he was just overwhelmed with patients of a year of wearing a mask, how much of a health issue it is to your teeth. He says people are coming in with cavities causing from the oxygen you breathe and breathe in and breathe out from wearing a mask isn't quite healthy for your teeth. So he's just overwhelmed with people coming in with cavities and this and that. So I actually think it's actually a pretty big health issue.
Yeah. Maybe we should just take all of our teeth out.
Maybe we should just get dentures.
Yeah. We can do remember the Saturday Night Live skit back in the day where they had pre-chew Charlies? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Look at Jake. Jake has made a face. Jake just made a face like he's like, what in the world is that? Do you want to know what it is? It was a pretty funny bit.
Sounds pretty nasty.
It's as nasty as you think it is. Back in Saturday Night Live, but man, are we chasing squirrels right now? And Dennis can talk about this. Back in the day, Saturday Night Live, the early days, Bill Murray, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, man, they did some crazy stuff. Even for the time, but even the pre-chew Charlie's bit was pretty disgusting. It was like what was the one with the fish? Didn't Dan Aykroyd throw a fish in a blender and then they made believe they were drinking some kind of, it was like a Vitamix or some kind of mix? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of truth in every joke.
Yeah, and I know. And Dennis is completely checked out of my conversation. All right, Dennis, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. There he goes. All right. Look it up. Check the video out. Pre-chew Charlie's, I think it was called. And I think it was Saturday. I might be wrong. I've been wrong on a lot of different things. I was wrong about Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Actually, I wasn't. I didn't even watch. I didn't pay attention. I got to be honest. All right. Are you watching? Is a video? Do they have a video for it? He's watching it and he's like, you should see Jake's face right now. Wait, actually, you can. Are you watching? Hold on. If you're watching at truesteel.com, Jake's face is like, what am I watching? Yeah, it's pretty gross. All right. Is that going to do it? Yep, that's going to do it. There we go. Oh, Mike, I just got a text from Mike Moody. He said it's a Bassomatic. It's the Bassomatic. That's what it was. He threw bass in a blender and then they would drink the bass. Boy, that's great bass. You drink the bass.
Moody would know that.
He would know that because he's the man who eats disgusting foods. I don't even know, but the audience doesn't even know who we're talking about. It's somebody that works here and he eats disgusting foods and that's all. All right, let's find out how the remainder of the forecast is shaping up right now with news meteorologist Matt Devitt.
Cool morning as we start the day. Have the light jacket handy. Temps in the 50s, and then you won't need it later today. Highs rebounding and returning.